Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the week of what's the date?
It's the best intro ever.
Third time's a charm. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fuck it, we're keeping that intro.
The
Okay.
week of the 8th of July 2013 million.
Yay.
I'm your host from the future, Bradley. I'm here with John. Say hello.
I am also from the future.
Are you a robot?
Yeah.
Welcome.
No, I'm a cyborg.
Yes, we welcome our cyborg.
Fuck
brother.
robots.
What? Wait, you do fuck robots? That would make sense if you're a cyborg. To be fair.
Really fuck
Sure.
robots, though.
Let's go for
You
that.
have your own sex slave robot.
Yep.
Man, all those news articles about, sex robots are kind of weird. I don't know if you've seen it.
Wouldn't it have to be like an android to be able to fuck it?
Would it just be like binary domain
Need to
style
be like,
weirdness?
Yeah, because it
like,
needs to be
That-
like
yeah.
synthetic. Yeah.
And then it rips its own face off. And you're like, what? You're a robot. And
that game is awesome.
I need to play that for realsies.
Yeah, binary domain is cool.
And I'm here with Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hello.
Joe's from the past.
I am from the past.
He's
I'm
an old
I'm
man
just-
from the
I'm
past.
just a suit of armor with like
Yeah, he's got his sword out,
ghost in it.
but he's got laser eyes. So,
Okay.
augmented laser eyes. How are you, Joe?
I am good. I am excited because Evo is next fucking weekend.
I'm also excited because DreamHack is the weekend after.
We're both excited.
I'm
We're
not
both
excited for either of these things. Both of these things suck.
Well, you know what, John? Fuck
You don't love esports, so fuck you.
Well, esports doesn't love me either, so.
Esports is the new wave.
I should probably watch like some esports before I make judgment on esports.
Probably.
Yeah,
Although, if you
I
don't
don't
understand
know.
the game to begin with, you'll probably just resent it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean it depends. Like, I don't really watch a lot of esports per se. You know, like MLG and shit. Like
Yeah.
I only watch MLG when they actually have games on that I like to watch, which isn't very often. It's mainly just like the fighting game stuff is all done like by people in the community. They just set up their own
Fighting
shit.
games like to distance themselves from the esports.
Yeah, they do. Like they hate. I mean, it's not like across the board, but like generally speaking, like they really don't like the term, esports and shit. It's
Yeah.
That's why like apparently that's why like Capcom games aren't with MLG because they just don't want it. So
Yeah. Well, fuck them. They're losing all that fat money that Shootmania has.
MLG are like it's just no skin off their teeth really.
I mean, is Evo like? Do they have big sponsors at their events and stuff?
Oh yeah, there's huge sponsors at Evo.
So they're making their own dollar on the
Yeah.
side. Fair enough. Where are you going to watch that? Where is Evo? I can't
Evo
remember.
is in Vegas and
Oh, nice. So
gonna
you're going to lose all your money on the way out.
gonna be fucking hot. No, I'm not one for gambling. I'm
Okay.
too logical for that, but yeah.
What about betting on esports?
That's not a good idea.
What about hustling people?
Oh,
NFL.
money matches? No,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
put down some.
It depends. I mean, if my first match in pools and like I like beat him really bad and he's like, yeah, I want to play you again, but for money. It's like, yeah, okay then. So, like, I'm probably gonna win again, so yeah, why not?
So you're entering the open bracket yourself, then, are you?
But
Trying to get in.
yeah, the money match, the real tournament here is just playing dudes for money, like outside of the actual tournament. That's what really matters.
Lethal League cash games is the real Evo.
Yeah, I'm going to Valencia, España, to watch some StarCraft, which should be fun. And I do actually believe we have 2 people in our group of 14 or so of us that are heading over there that are actually quite good at StarCraft, and I think they're both going to give it a go in the open bracket at DreamHack as well. See if they can't beat a couple of people at least for fun.
Cool.
So yeah, that should be interesting. Cool. Other than esports, Joe, I guess I should ask you, have you been playing anything this week?
I have played things this week. I'm quite impressed with how much I managed to play, considering how much I've been playing MK for next weekend. I put up my list here. I played quite a bit this week. I finally got around to playing through Infamous Festival of Blood this weekend.
Blood. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's. I don't know. That's that
Are they
game.
vampires or what?
Yeah, it's like. Well, I'll get into that.
Is it like Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, it's exactly the same sort of setup as Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. It's like, this is not canon, this is just a fun little kind of spin-off expansion pack. You don't need to own Infamous 2.
Okay, it's standalone.
So, yeah. But yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't really too sure about going into it, because like vampires are kind of, been dragged through the mud, so to speak, over the past few years. But yeah,
Vampires aren't cool.
Sorry, what?
Not like vampires aren't cool. Not like
No,
zombies.
no, they're not. They're not cool. They were cool when like they were, actual fucking vampires and shit. Not like
Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like the last time vampires are cool.
I've never actually seen an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I tried to watch it recently and it was sort of unwatchable, but I used to like really like it when I was like 13. It was
Yeah,
pretty bad.
I've never watched. The last vampire film that I think is still good is Blade 1 and 2. They are still good.
I don't like Blade 2 as much because it had all those weird like CG.
Oh yeah, the CG
fight
stuff
scene
in Blade
stuff,
2 is
but,
shit. But I mean, that's just.
Did you ever see what the hell? What was the one with Josh Hartnett? The last 30 Days of Night.
30 Days of That was okay.
Yeah, I mean, him punching the dude's throat out was pretty cool.
That was like the best part of the film. Which
Yeah.
Oh no, actually no, the dude like falling in the giant blender was probably the best part.
That movie was all right.
Yeah, that was okay. I don't know, like Josh Hartnett was kind of annoying in it though.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right in some stuff, but
Yeah, he's good in The Faculty.
I've never seen The Faculty.
What?
I've seen like the start of it, but I was like,
I've never even
really
heard
didn't
of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's because you. Yeah, that's...
movie.
No, that's not an age gap at all. You guys should have seen.
No, I don't know. It was around when I was like 13, and like again, like I don't know, like back then I wasn't really into horror movies as much, so I just didn't. I didn't really want to watch it.
The Faculty is so good. Brad, you should seriously watch that film.
I've literally never even heard a word about
That will actually probably make it even better if you've never heard of it.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say The Faculty in a sentence before.
That's because you need to hang around with cooler people. Anyway, what were we talking about?
You were playing
Video game. Yeah, video games. That's
vampire
right.
games.
Oh, those things.
Yeah, Festival of Blood. It's really cool. I really liked it. The setup is there's some stuff happening, and Cole kind of goes off to investigate the stuff, and oh my god, vampires! Like, it's just I really like the kind of the blatancy of them just being like, no, yo, vampires.
Yeah.
There's no I mean, there is a little bit of backstory and stuff, but the way they kind of set it up in the Infamous universe is that they're conduits that blood gives them power and all this shit. But they're basically vampires. Like they just call them throughout the game vampires. The game starts out pretty really well. I'm sort of in the minority. I do like Zeke. I think Zeke is a cool character.
Zeke.
I know a lot of people don't agree.
Zeke's
Terrible
redeemed
name.
by the end of the end of the main game. I think.
He and I like the friendship between him and Cole. I think, especially in this game as well, they do some pretty funny stuff with that. And it starts out with him in a bar, just like on his own, and he's trying to chat up this woman, and he's saying like, "Oh, my friend Cole," and she's like, "Oh, the Cole," and he's like, "Yeah, we're best friends," and he's he's all like, "Oh, he's like a brother to me," blah 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 blah, and trying to chat her up and everything, and that's how the setup of the game starts. It's told by Zeke as a story. And it's not that long, but I mean, I'm trying to remember how long it took me to go through it. I went through it in 2 sittings, maybe 3 hours, 3-4 hours. I did a lot of exploring, because it's got quite a few collectibles in it and stuff. They do give you some new powers. The most significant of which is you can straight up fly, which is pretty nice, I gotta admit. You turn into a swarm of bats by holding, up is usually your super attack sort of thing. I know one of them's the lightning storm, and I can't remember what the other two are. Have either of you played Infamous 2? I can't remember.
Yeah, I've played it.
Yeah. Up now is basically just you go into bat swarm mode and you can just straight up fly. That's really cool because it really does make getting around a lot quicker. But they kind of what's the word? I'm drawing a blank. They regulate it by having it like as a meter. You can't just do it like over and over and over again. So it doesn't remove like kind of the platforming and like grinding on the wires and the hovering around of Infamous, which is pretty cool. So I'm just trying. Is there any new? I don't think there's any more new powers. You can stab dudes when they're on the floor, which is awesome. But it's pretty much just like it's Infamous 2, with a twist on it. The story's pretty interesting. It's told pretty well. But yeah, it's just a great little expansion. I really like. I really hope this kind of becomes a thing, like the whole non-canon spin-off expansion DLC sort of thing, where they can just, because it gives them gives them an excuse to do whatever the hell they want. It's like Infamous, yo, vampires.
Who else did that? That was Far Cry 3 did a similar thing, didn't they?
I don't actually know what the Far Cry 3 thing is, to be honest.
What's it called?
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon, yeah.
Oh, is that vampires as well?
No. I mean the whole off-canon spin-off, where they just basically take all the assets and tech that they made for the game, and then just make like a smaller, downloadable game out of it.
Yeah, I think they should do it more. I think, and I think Infamous is one of those games where like it's kind of set up that you could, they could have done other things as well. Like Vampires, I guess, was just, popular at the time, so it made sense for them to do it. But yeah, definitely worth checking out if you like Infamous. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. I still can't really pinpoint why it took me so long to get around to playing it, because I really love Infamous, but it's taken me ages to finally get around to playing through that. But definitely worth checking out. And the ending is pretty good as well.
Yeah, that's funny little.
I quite like the ending. Like if they decided to like make the ending canon or something and like go down that road, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for that game. It's there's not much to it. It is basically just more Infamous 2. If you like Infamous 2,
which is a good thing, because
Infamous 2 is fucking awesome. So if you like that, you're gonna like that quite a bit. I played a bit more BioShock Infinite as well this week. I must admit, I'm not really digging BioShock Infinite. I don't really get the. It's like I can't say anything bad about it as a game. Like it's everything about it, like mechanically and everything, is top notch. I just don't feel I don't feel I don't see the BioShock in it. Like apart from the obvious stuff, like strip away the the vigors, which are basically plasmids, strip away kind of the aesthetic and the soundtrack to a degree, and it feels very. It just doesn't feel like BioShock to me, and like granted that was kind of my biggest concern going in. But yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything, but I really think you need to.
I want to stick with it, because I'm not that far through it. I'm probably only maybe. If Steam's on, I'll check my Steam time. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe like 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Have you got to the like the gunsmith stuff?
No. Well, okay. I can upgrade my guns if that's what you mean.
No, there's a specific dude, like the Chinese dude who's like I don't know, like that's the point where I feel like the game turns from being like a really like solid shooter into like something else in terms of the story.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything up to then. Like I guess I was feeling this sort of similar thing. Is like this game is like it's really well put together. It's a really solid shooter, but I can't see where like people who are like fawning over it are coming from. But there is a point when it turns, like the story turns, and like it gains a lot of momentum, I guess, and just sort of pushes it through at the end.
Also, where I am at the moment, I really feel like the story is just spinning its wheels.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just kind of.
You definitely need to.
It's like the stuff with I can't remember her name. The girl. What's her name? Is it Elizabeth, or am I thinking of something completely different?
What like your the
girl,
trying to rescue, yeah, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, thought so. Like there's definitely some interesting stuff with her, and they seem to just be like dancing around it, and it's like I wish you just
it does
tell me what's going on. So I really want to finish that, but I'm gonna have to be in the mood, I guess, to play through that.
I would just sit down and like I don't know, for a night and
Yeah.
you know.
I think
play
it's because
this-
it's on my PC, it doesn't help. Because I really like playing something on a console while doing something on a PC. Whereas to play
Yeah,
Bioshock, I just have to play Bioshock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like they can't say anything bad about it. Like as a shooter, like it's flawlessly made. It really is. Like it looks amazing. It plays great.
Yeah.
So, just a bit disappointing on the Bioshockness.
I think I stopped. Obviously, I didn't finish it, and I still am yet to go back to it. John, the part you were describing, I think, is actually exactly where I stopped playing it, not out of choice, just because I ran out of time. I think the only thing that was keeping me there personally was the potential of the story, and the setting was interesting to me. As someone who hasn't played Bioshock before and has no attachment to
Yeah.
anything and being Bioshocky, I just liked the intriguingness of the setting and the hints at the outside shit that they were getting on with. As far as the combat went, I actually didn't particularly like most of it, but that might just be me being bored generally of
There's not. I mean,
shooters.
I mean, I don't know what you mean, but I feel that it's very. I feel that like the hip firing is too good in the game. Like I never have to aim down the sights. Like every single bullet just goes where you shoot. I definitely feel that. It does kind of make it a bit boring.
Yeah. I mean,
I've upgraded the pistol, like the pistol's firepower, and I'm like using the pistol more than anything because it's just, yep, this is just ridiculously accurate. I don't even have to aim with this, so I'm not really using anything else. Like I have to kind of purposely think, oh, I'm gonna try the possess vigor here to see if this does anything cool.
I mean, that's probably where I got the most out of the game was like with the vigors. Like I sort of agree with Brad. Like I did like the shooting, but it sort of wore on because I mean that game's fairly long for like a pretty linear first person shooter, and like it does get to a point.
I don't like the kind of
where,
bulldog linearity of it either.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be much room for exploring. I mean,
no,
even though Bioshock kind of wanted to keep you on a path, there was plenty to explore.
Yeah, I mean there are like sort of open areas, but
there's nothing in them though. Yeah,
some of them there's like there's the Vox phones and stuff, and like
yeah, that's true. But
there is some interesting stuff if you do look around, I guess. But it's not like it is a quite linear game.
Yeah, I'm just like a little bit. I don't know. Like I mean, I don't want to like say I'm not going to finish it, but I am so far. I'm very disappointed in it. And it was kind of my fear for like one of my biggest fears for this year was that this game was going to be shit, and I wouldn't go as far as to call it shit, but it's definitely not living up to my expectations. So
it'll be interesting to see if you have like I don't know, like an oh snap moment when you.
I hope so, because I like it's frustrating. It's always frustrating for me playing these sorts of games because I'm first and foremost a mechanics person. I like shit to work, and everything works in this game, and it works really, really well. But that's kind of all it has at the moment. It's like, yeah, this is, this is all this game really has going for it. So we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna try and get through that over the course. Well, not next week, but maybe when I get back.
Yeah.
I like wind down. Play Bioshock, but that's pretty much it for that. Not much to really say on top of that. And the last thing I played this week, last week now, I played through the new Tomb Raider, and that game is really fucking good. I've been pretty upfront about my expectations of that game. I really think after playing through it, the parts of that game they chose to show was very, very weird. There's some stuff in that game that's really, really fucking awesome and really impressive, and they just showed Laura getting the shit beat out of her all the time, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's like, what are you doing here? Like, you have this really quite awesome game that you're not showing people. And like the more I played it, kind of that was what I kept thinking about. It's like, why aren't you showing this? Like, this bit is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you're just, hey, here's that bit where she gets impaled by the spike again. It's like, which by the way is like my biggest problem with that game. That happens, like, I mean, I can't remember if they said this at the E3 thing, But that happens like right at the start of the game, you know, where you like fall off and it like
Yeah.
goes in slow motion when she gets impaled on that bit of metal.
Mhm.
That happens right at the start of the game and is never, ever, 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 ever addressed. It's like that happens, and then you just go into the game and nothing. Like there's a little bit of blood on her top where it happened. Like you never have to like, you know, do anything about it. It's never mentioned. Like you run into. You guys haven't played it, have you? So I don't want to spoil it. Okay.
No.
Well, you know this kind of setup. You know, you get stranded on this island, and the people you're stranded with, like you do actually meet up with them fairly soon, and nobody is like, "Yo, what happened to your, you know, gut? What's that huge stab wound doing there? How are you actually standing and running and jumping and doing all this shit?" Like, it's never addressed, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things that kind of, you know, for like the first hour and a half of that game, I was like, yep, you still have, you know, an open stab wound that went through and through, and you like ripped it out as well. That would fuck you up.
That's it's pretty funny coming off The Last of Us, like
That's exactly what kind of
considering how they deal with like a fairly similar situation.
Yes,
like
that's exactly what I was referring to. It's you
yeah.
know, and where she gets stabbed, I mean, my anatomy is not fantastic, but I like surely like that would have hit an organ, like where it actually gets her. Like it's not like, oh, that's just a flesh wound. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's going either through your fucking liver or kidneys. Like
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, it's a video game, so whatever. But yeah, the game is actually fucking awesome. Like it's, I think of it like the platforming stuff in it and the action. I think I said this to John. Like I look at it as Uncharted but good. They actually like the platforming is actually dynamic. Like you can do it like in the middle of a fight. You can. It's not like as just rigorously. You now have to jump here, 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 and here and here, and you cannot do anything else. Otherwise, you die. Like it hasn't got that sort of rigorous setup to it. It has got some of that stuff in like set piece moments where like there's this one bit where you're falling down, like you're kind of being carried by this current in the water, and you kind of have to dodge things that are in the in the water. But other than that, like if you're in, say, there's one really cool bit where you're fighting like kind of just an encounter really on like a suspended. It's not necessarily like a constructed area, but it's hard to describe. It's like on a mountain sort of area, but there's loads of like constructed towers in it, and you kind of fight like all the way throughout the towers, and it's just really fluid to like jump around from each one and like actually feel in control of the character. I mean, I would say like the gunplay feels more solid than most. It has got pretty good gunplay in it, and yeah, like just the gameplay is far more substantial than I thought it would be. That being said, that on that subject, the kind of downside to that is that the enemies are like easily the stupidest enemies ever in any video game. Like they just literally stand there while you line up headshots on them. They do nothing. Like, and again, like coming from The Last of Us, it was a bit of a like, oh yeah, this is what most video game enemies are like. Hey, I'm just gonna stand here while you shoot me in the face. But that being said, the combat is pretty satisfying. It's refreshing to see like you're not like you can die pretty fast in the game. Like you really cannot stand much. You can't take much punishment at all. I think maybe like if you get caught kind of in open space, there is a pretty cool like dodge mechanic. You can like press B in a direction and Lara will kind of like scramble for cover like in a. Like, it's just a really good animation that kind of gets you out of incoming fire. But if you get caught in like completely open area, like you're pretty much fogged. Like you're just going to get shot. But yeah, like I don't want to get into spoiler stuff because I actually thought the story was quite good, and some of the things they did with the characters and that I certainly didn't expect. I think the best thing about the game, in my opinion, is the character development of Lara. I really didn't think that would be done very well. And it really is. Like, it's done, in my opinion, quite fantastic. Like, at the beginning of that game, if you look at her at the beginning of the game and then you look at her at the end of the game, it's a very, very well executed, character arc from going from, very, very innocent, very green adventurer to fucking do not fuck with me.
Psycho murderer.
Badass. No, not Psycho Murderer, and that's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen kind of conflicting opinions on it. Like, the in-game actions don't really support the character, which I don't really agree with. I feel there's a very, very clear point in that game where she kind of, goes from being, I don't really want to do this to fuck it. Survival is kind of kicking in. I now have to be like this. I think there's a very, very, very clear point in the game where that happens to her. So I don't really see what those criticisms were about. But yeah, like, I'm trying to think of other stuff to talk about rather than the story. The setup of the game is pretty interesting. It's not like strictly open world, but it is very there's plenty of room for exploration. You kind of set up in camps all throughout the actual game world. Like, you'll find a camp in certain areas. Certain kind of hub worlds will have more than one camp, so you can actually fast travel between each area. And as far as I can tell, apart from like the very end of the game, there's no real limit on like when you want to fast travel. So if you've sort of like done a specific part of a mission, or if you've raided a tomb and you want to go and explore like the very beginning part of the game to hunt some deer or something, you can do that. And I just think that's really cool that they've kind of given you that freedom. But yeah, that's probably my biggest surprise so far of this year, because I was not expecting that game to be much of anything, and I think they really nailed it. And it's not spoilers to say that it sets up for a fucking sequel in this day and age, but yeah, I'd really like to see where they'd go from here. The only thing that really kind of bugged me is that it takes a while to get going. The first hour of the game is very much, if you've never played a video game before, we're going to tell you how to play a video game. And it kind of like just really, really brutally lays out the mechanics like over the first hour. It's like, hey, here's how you hunt something, here's how you skin something, here's how you upgrade shit, here's how you do this, here's how you jump. And it's, all that sort of stuff is kind of par for the course. But like, once you get past that, like, it really is quite an amazing game.
I can't remember who was saying it, but I remember someone saying like all games need like a universal, just like, I have played video games before, like tick box at the start, and it just like skips like 90% of the tutorials. Like
the opening QuickTime events as well in the game, like, are some of the worst. Like, because it's just like, it's just stuff that doesn't need to be QuickTime events. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you have to mash this button. It's like, no, you could just give me control of my character here, and it would be fine. And credit to them, like, later in the game, they actually do that. There's one point in particular, it's very Uncharted-esque, but it feels way better just because of the way the platforming and movement feels in Tomb Raider, where you're actually being sort of like, the environment you're in is being destroyed as you're moving out of it, and just to have like full freedom and control of your character in that in that sort of sequence is just really awesome. So I would highly recommend checking out that game. It is really good. And it's currently on sale, I think, in the Xbox Live game sale.
Yeah, it's like 15 quid.
Is that still going? I thought that had ended.
Oh, is it?
No, it's still going. It's just like, I think the last
there's no more
4 days are like the games that are on now. So
yeah, that is definitely worth 15 quid. I mean, I don't mean that as a bad thing. Like, that I think really
like
good.
Hitman Absolution's up there for like 10 quid.
I still need to play through that.
Which
only got
like is
first
I think, I don't know, if you like sort of stealth action games, that's definitely worth playing. That's
all I played.
You didn't play any of the Walking Dead, did you, Joe?
No, I didn't. I haven't got any Microsoft points.
I've downloaded it, but
I didn't get a chance to play through that, so that'll probably have to wait till.
It's pretty cheap, isn't it? It's
like, it's 400 points.
400 points. So.
Well, on Steam it's like £3 or something.
Yeah.
So I really want to get that, but I literally have no money.
I want to get it too, but just not got the time. Not got the time until after next week. But
did you play it?
I've heard sort of like mixed things, so I am interested to.
I think expectations are going to go against that game.
Yeah, because I mean, coming off like the end of
they've got a lot kind of unfairly so in a lot of ways. Like, they've got a lot to live up to, because of what sort of where they left off. It's like, you've got to really come out swinging. So, but that's it for me this week. That's all I really played. So
cool. Oh, John, then what did
Yes.
you get up to?
Oh god, I played a lot of the multiplayer on The Last of Us. I'm surprised just how fun it is, I guess. Like was like the last thing I was looking for when I was like, excited for that game really. Like I was only there for the single player, but yeah, that multiplayer is it's cool. Sort of very heavily inspired by Gears, I guess.
You mean just like how it plays, or
Yeah, and like I guess obviously the third person cover based sort of shooter thing, but there's like downs and executions and stuff which are like the leaderboard, like the end of game leaderboard thing is like pretty much ripped out of Gears of War. It's like downs, executions, revives, and deaths.
yeah,
Which,
fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if you're gonna rip on a
Yeah.
third person shooter multiplayer, you might as well rip off the best. I mean,
yeah. And it's got like, I don't know if I'm just like making this up, but like it feels like it's sort of inspired by obviously Gears of War, but like it feels like there's a sort of MOBA influence in a way, which like not it's not got creeps and stuff. It's just the way the maps are designed. They're very sort of laney. Like
Mhm.
a lot of it feels like all the maps are designed in sort of like there's like a clear like middle, left, or what is it, top and bottom lane.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and go down the middle lane every time because people don't go there because they're scared of it. So you just go down there, get behind
That's weird.
people,
I would not have expected
and then
no
shoot
one
them.
to go down the middle.
Well, people don't go down the middle because like you're super vulnerable. Like getting shot like twice is pretty much enough to down you. So people don't want to go where it's like quite exposed. They want to like at least have one flank covered. So it's like they always go down the left or right. So yeah, go down the middle, sneak through the middle, and then stab people in the back. Basically, is what I do. It's got like it takes a lot of the elements from the single player. So it's got crafting in there. It's got like the healing system and stuff is like the same.
Bricks.
No bricks or balls.
No bricks. God, what a pile of shit.
Yeah. It's still got like
have you
Molotovs and-
discovered the
Have you
amazing
brained
of
anyone
bricks?
Oh no, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't jumped back into the single player yet,
I
which
need
I've
to
been meaning to
click
do, but like,
You need to do that.
yeah, I know,
It's
but
amazing.
yeah, but I don't know that I'm just really surprised that multiplayer is like as good as it is. I mean, it's not like the greatest multiplayer ever, but it's pretty fun for what it is, and it makes use of like mechanics you wouldn't really associate with like a multiplayer game, I guess, like
Yeah.
the crafting and stuff. And
I'm really interested to try it out when I get
Yeah.
I've lent my copy to a friend at the moment because she couldn't find it like for ages.
yeah, because that like sold out in a bunch of places.
Yeah,
didn't
it did. So I've lent her my copy for a bit. So when I get it back, I'll
Yeah.
be sure to check out the
I
multiplayer.
don't know what else to say. It's got like I don't know if you've seen any of like the sort of metagame stuff. Like this, so it can pull friend names from your Facebook. Like at the start of the game, it's like, oh, do you want to link this to your Facebook account? And I usually just go no, like whenever a game asks, because it's always like posting shit that I just don't want
Yeah.
on Facebook and stuff. But it's like we will not post anything on on Facebook. This is purely just to like take like names and pictures. So it'll take a bunch of the names of your friends on Facebook and the profile pictures, and then it'll like have those people like add to your clan, I guess, when you like, because when you do well in games, like it adds to like this survivor group thing you've got, and like it'll be like, oh, this person's doing this thing, this person died or something. This like it's quite interesting. And it's like it's sort of like you've got to keep your survivor group alive by collecting enough resources in like each game, and like the bigger your group is, the more resources you need.
Mhm.
And there's like it's hard to explain because it's a bit weird. It's just like I was sort of overwhelmed when I first got into it because there's like it's got like custom classes and stuff, and it's got a bunch of like perks, and it's just it's cool. You should definitely
I'm
play it.
definitely interested in it. I got a friend at work, and he's playing that. The reason he hasn't completed it, the single player yet, is because he keeps playing the multiplayer.
It's
Like-
it's pretty cool.
Every morning, I ask him, like, "You got any further on The Last of Us?" And he's like, "No, I just keep playing the multiplayer." And I sort of slap him, like, "Dude, what are you doing? Fucking sort it out. Like,
Yeah.
complete that game already."
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I didn't expect like The Last of Us to be my like go-to multiplayer game. Like,
It sounds like it's very different though, and I think at this point that is
Yeah.
That is very important.
I mean, yeah, you are like shooting dudes, but
Yeah.
you know, it does enough to make it fresh and really interesting. Let's see. I finished Warhammer 40k Space Marine, which I
Space
started
Marine.
quite a while ago. Yes. But I don't know. Like, I do like it, I guess, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling, I guess, like the melee system, and I don't
I
know.
love that. I thought the melee system was...
Yeah, and I know you like held that game in pretty high regard, and I do like it. It's just
I don't
know.
think it's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's
I mean, I just think like it's that is like it's like that's like a blockbuster kind of movie thing, you know? It's like
yeah.
play it through once, it's like
Story's
this
not
was,
that great.
like this was fucking awesome, and then like that's it. Like you just don't go back to it. Like, and if you do go back to it, it's just to be like, yeah, this is kind of cool, and then you know, it's it's like it's a Con Air. It's not a Goodfellas.
Yeah. Con Air's pretty rad though.
Con Air is pretty
I
fun.
think I prefer Con Air.
What
but,
if Con Air had Space Marines?
I don't know.
Sirens.
Does Nicolas Cage kill the Space Marines?
What if Nicolas Cage was a Space Marine?
That would be weird. That's like one
What
of
if that's
those
his next film?
stupid face. I on Facebook I like a group which is just Nicolas Cage photoshops. So every day I've got I don't know, Nicolas Cage's head on
know,
like
I think
Voldemort or
there's,
something. It's like,
I think there's definitely room for Con Air 2, Rise of the Space Marine.
oh god,
I think that needs to be made.
yeah.
Seen Con Air, Brad? You know.
No.
I was gonna say you probably would have said something by now if you.
Probably would have came out with some stupid line from that movie.
Yeah, which I'm actually trying to think of one now, and I can't.
Put the bunny down.
Put it back in the box.
Oh yeah, put the bunny back in the box. Yeah. There's the bit when the dude from Stargate is wiping the shit off his window, and then the dead body falls in his car, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's the bit when the guy from Star Trek's car gets towed along by the plane.
Oh yeah, and it's like actually on the end of the plane as
Yes.
the plane is flying, and he's like, "Yo, isn't that your car?"
There's a bit when Steve Buscemi's all weird with that little girl.
Oh yeah, that's
uh,
not really a line though. That's just
That's just a really weird.
weird scene.
Yeah. That movie's all right. Oh,
Yeah, and
God.
it's basically Space Marine. That's
Nicolas Cage's accent in that movie is so. I don't know if it's amazing or terrible.
Isn't he supposed to be like Southern in that?
Yeah.
Southern, like where's he from again?
I don't know, like Texas.
Speaking about accents, have we ever talked about Short Circuit before?
No, but
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Short Circuit?
Fucking awesome.
Okay. Short Circuit's
Never
amazing.
seen
You should
that.
go watch
Johnny
it.
Five. That doesn't ring any
Johnny
bells.
Five is alive. I never realized that because when I watched it, I was quite young, as you can imagine, and I never realized that the dude who plays the Indian guy is not in fact Indian.
You know, I thought that in Lost, the guy who plays the what's his name? Is he Iraqi?
Yeah.
Is he
Oh, God,
Iraqi?
what the hell is his-
Iraqian? I don't actually know how you say that. Is someone's from Iraq? Are they Iraqi or?
They're
I think
Iraqi.
they're Iraqi. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
God,
he's.
what the hell is his character name?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I
Yeah,
watched every season of that show. I should probably know that.
That's Lost in a nutshell. But yeah, I think he's the same, isn't he? Like he's not actually.
Saeed.
Saeed.
Oh,
yeah.
go.
There we go.
Yeah. He's like full on American.
Yeah.
And like the two Korean actors, well, the two Korean characters are played by like Korean Americans who just have like full on American accents, which, yeah. And like one of the characters is like meant to be like can't speak any English, like.
Oh yeah, isn't that the dude that like?
Yeah, that's Sun and Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually there's a weird bit where I think it's a dream sequence where Jin speaks like perfect English to someone, and it's like it freaks everyone out because like that whole of the series he's been like speaking in like broken English or just Korean, which is it's pretty funny. Anyway, what were we talking about? Warhammer.
Short Circuit.
Warhammer, Short Circuit, and Con Air.
Yeah, Warhammer Space Marine is it's cool. I don't know. I was sort of like slogging through it. I probably played it the wrong way. I guess I was just like, oh, I just want to complete this. So like, I think I finished it in like a day. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I was only
not.
like 4 hours through or something, so I
I
wasn't
mean, it's
really.
not a particularly long game, but yeah, that's
No,
not a
no.
game that you can really marathon. That's a game that,
Yeah,
I mean, I think I played through that like over the course of a week, and it was just
yeah.
really fun
I should have
to
stopped playing at a point and like
jump
picked up
back in
the
it,
next
like
day. But
grab hold of an orc and like fucking ram a chainsaw in his face.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like there are some cool like animation stuff.
I love the stomp. The stomp is my favorite one.
Yeah,
He
I
picks
just
them up and like
my favorite
choke
parts of
slams.
that game were like the bits where you get the jetpack thing and the hammer and just like jumping up into the
Oh,
sky.
that is so awesome.
Yeah, that stuff was cool.
It's,
But
it is cool. Yeah, it's not like a masterpiece, but it's a solid
No.
game. If you
there were things about like the Warhammer like mythos or the lore that I like the weird space marines, like how the space marines are basically like Imperial Romans and all that stuff's like that stuff's like interesting, but they don't really go into that stuff enough really in there.
no,
So
they don't.
there's like brief mention of like the codec and stuff and like that being like their set of rules but they don't really go into that stuff that much, which is probably a bit disappointing because that stuff's actually sort of interesting. Yeah, so finish that. The final boss battle is terrible.
I thought it was good. I'm glad they didn't go the. Are you referring to you kill him with a quick time event? Or
Yeah.
yeah, I like that because that game's mechanics would not support anything else.
I guess
Otherwise it would have just
I
been,
just
yo, here's a dude with a fucking giant health bar, wail on him for half an hour. I much
I don't know.
preferred punching the fuck.
I suppose that that boss battle with like the giant orc isn't that great.
Like, it goes on. Like I think it goes on long enough, like killing his henchman, wearing him down, and then just like beating the shit out of him. Like
Yeah, I suppose.
like I like it when games sort of realize that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, this is a third-person shooter. There's a reason most third-person shooters don't have bosses in them. It's because
I mean, I suppose his head does explode, so that sort of
Exactly.
redeems it.
it's great.
Yeah. Anyway, I also jumped into Alpha Protocol, which I can't remember whether I talked about it on this podcast because the year on my last save was like 2011, so that was like the year we first started doing this. But I don't know. If it
I
was
vaguely remember you speaking about it. I don't
Yeah.
think it was like then.
Yeah.
I think you
That
have talked about it.
that game's sort of messed up in some weird ways. So I mean, just a brief sort of refresher, I guess. It's basically like Mass Effect, but with spies.
Mm-hmm.
But the gameplay is sort of terrible.
Okay.
So it takes a very sort of hardline RPG approach to its gameplay, but it tries to also be like a third-person stealth action game, which doesn't really work. So like the actual third-person shooting is sort of inaccurate because like your character's skill level isn't top-notch. So it's like you can like be aiming straight at a dude's head and miss. There's all like the stealth is weird. There's like you have a power that just makes you like straight up invisible, which is really weird in like sort of a contemporary, sort of I wouldn't say realistic, but like it's not. It doesn't really have any like justification for why you go invisible. It's just that's just one of your skills. You just turn invisible. It's like
Isn't it futuristic though?
not enough to justify going invisible.
Oh,
like
I thought that was like Mass Effect setting. Like
no, it's not. It's like now, I guess.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. I totally never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought it was very sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like when you go invisible in Mass Effect, it's like, oh, you've got some, biotic power, or it's like something to do with your armor or something. It's at least got
Yes.
like a justification, whereas in this, it's just like, I don't know, you go invisible, I guess. Like, whatever. I mean, the things I like about that game is it like takes the sort of the Mass Effect, like, oh, your choices have like ramifications to like a pretty, like probably a further degree than like the Mass Effect games themselves do it. Like I remember like Jeff of Giant Bomb like saying like that stuff is crazy because he like played it twice and like just completely different stuff happened, and like there's a lot of moments where you can just straight up kill a dude who like you get the option to kill them like as like a dialogue option, I guess, and like I like usually don't pick that option, and like that character like comes back into the story and they're like quite a major component, so like it would really interesting to see what happened if I just like murdered people when I had the chance. Sometimes that stuff's a bit weird. Like I just like the last thing I did was this mission where you encounter this crazy Russian woman with like a massive light machine gun thing, and she just is murdering people left and right, and you're you encounter her a couple of times, and then she's like, oh, we'll meet again. And I was like one of the options was like just attack, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just shoot her, and like it turns into like this mini boss battle, and like I got a health bar all the way down, just like, oh, that was fun, bye, and like got on a helicopter, flew away, and then like I got back to my like safe house, and she sent me an email. I was like, yeah, that was fun. We should do that again sometime. And I was like, okay, I did just like shoot you and try and kill you, and she's like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, that game is. I guess if you like the sort of dialogue stuff from Mass Effect and you want to see like the choice stuff done to like a really weird degree, that game's probably for you. But if you can't handle like sort of bad stealth and sort of bad third person shooting, sorry, then yeah, maybe not the thing for you. I don't know. I sort of tolerate it because I just like, I like spooks and stuff. I like weird spy stuff. So that game sort of appeals to me, even though it is sort of bad.
I heard there were things people liked about that game, like what it was trying to do.
More definitely. Like, yeah, I mean, I totally like appreciate like the ambition of like trying to make like these, have people have completely different experiences depending on their choices and stuff, and like a lot of that stuff they do actually seem to like execute on. But yeah, I mean, and that stuff, like, even it's not even like just dialogue options. Like sometimes it's like gameplay stuff. Like depending on like how you approach a mission. So if you're like, stealthy in a mission, like certain characters will like you more, like appreciate that you didn't just go in and murder everyone. Whereas other characters are like, oh, stealth for pussies, you should have just shot everyone. And so like there's just like, little bits of dialogue. Like the game sort of starts you out in Saudi Arabia, and then it opens up and gives you like, you can go to Moscow, Rome, or Taipei, I think it is. And like depending on the order you go to those places, like people will say different things or, have a different reaction to you. It's just, yeah, it does that stuff pretty well. It's just a shame that the gameplay's not really up to scratch, and there are a few like technical things, like the frame rate's pretty dodgy in some areas, which is weird because that game doesn't, it doesn't look outstanding at all, really. But yeah, I appreciate the ambition. I wish like there was an Alpha Protocol 2 with like, a bigger budget, and like they sort of took like the Mass Effect 2 approach to gameplay. But yeah, that game's all right. I'm probably going to finish it soon because I'm in the last. I've like already done Rome and Taipei, and I'm about halfway through Moscow now. So I imagine it'll probably be that, and then there'll be like one more area, and then game over. Hopefully, I guess, because I just want to see how that ends.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, I mean the gameplay is just not that fun, really. I just want to see the end of the story. I sort of lost the thread a bit because like it's been so long, and it's all the like weird, like, oh, this person's double crossed this person's a terrorist, this person's running some weird organization. Like a guy like came up to me, and like my character was like familiar with him and called him by his his name and stuff, and I was just like, I literally have no idea who this guy is. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. A lot of that stuff's like, it's got like a Mass Effect 2 style codec thing, so I'll probably just have to read all that stuff and try and catch up. Yeah, that game's all right.
Does seem like a game that should have had a second chance.
Yeah.
You never know. Mirror's Edge 2. Mirror's Edge got one. So
I guess.
Yeah, but Mirror's Edge didn't tank like.
And I don't think there's like this like cult following of like, oh yeah, Alpha Protocol. Like no one's like.
I don't know. Alpha Protocol seems to have quite the cult following.
I don't know. I think maybe
it seems more like a Prey at best.
I don't know, man. I've seen some diehard people about fucking Alpha Protocol.
That game has a really like admirable ambition. Just doesn't quite do it on the gameplay side. I guess that was it for games, but I sort of wanted to talk about something because I started watching Twin Peaks. Because it came on the Love Film on the instant streaming stuff, and I have a trial for that. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, that like I've heard people talk a lot about that show being awesome, and it is. It's really weird and cool and David Lynchy. But the thing I want to tie into games is it is like insane how much Deadly Premonition is just Twin Peaks. Like,
I'd love to know how those two related, because Deadly Premonition seems related to absolutely nothing except for an
holy shit,
insane
it's so
person's
like
fantasies.
the thing is, right? It's like it's increased my respect for Deadly Premonition like tenfold. It's like, now I understand so much stuff about this game. It's so weird. I should have wrote like a list, because I could just like read down this list. It would be things that are in Twin Peaks and things that are in Deadly Premonition, and it would be like most of Deadly Premonition. So this is like my attempt, I guess. There's a murder in a small town. A woman, like an attractive woman. I guess that's maybe not true about Deadly Premonition, because all the models in that game are pretty
Because
ugly.
graphics.
There's no such thing as attractive in Deadly Premonition.
Yeah. Okay. So
The
attractive by
engine
like
doesn't
I
support
think, I think Zach's pretty attractive.
yeah. I mean
This is
he's a-
true.
He's a hot dude, but okay. So let's just say attractive woman is killed in a small like American town, very close knit community. Police can't really handle it, so they're calling the FBI. FBI agent comes to town, is really sort of offbeat, weird, talks to himself. Or well, at the beginning you think, I don't know, it's the same sort of thing with Zach in like Twin Peaks. There's like a woman called Diane that he talks to through a tape recorder, and so far hasn't really been explained. So I don't know. That's just the same thing where Diane doesn't actually exist. But comes to town,
Does
and
he like coffee?
he likes coffee very much.
Does he see FK in his coffee?
No, he doesn't see FK in the coffee, unfortunately. He stays at a massive like hotel, which just seems way too big for the town that he's actually in.
Is his bed ridiculously fucking huge?
Yes, his bed is actually ridiculously fucking huge. He wears weird like
Seriously, the size of the bed in Deadly Premonition.
yeah,
is
it's pretty
fucking
great. It's
insane.
pretty big in Twin Peaks as well. There's a diner where like an old like 50s style diner called like the R&R. I can't remember what's called in Deadly Premonition. There's he has to work with local law enforcement. There's like the chief sheriff dude who isn't really like George. Like George is a different character to the dude in Twin Peaks. There's this dude who what's he called? What's the camp dude? The other like the
What,
deputy.
the camp policeman.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Good
what's
question.
There's a dude called Andy in Twin Peaks who is sort of like him. Like he cries when he sees dead bodies and like.
Does he also like cook
No, he's not. He's nowhere
muffins
near
or
as
something?
like camp as the dude in.
Aren't they like
Mission.
biscuits or something in?
I can't remember what it was. It was something like that.
Yeah, it was like a scone or something
Yeah,
like that.
but that's what like biscuits are in America, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
And then there's like scenes that are just like there's a scene where there's a woman singing a really weird song in front of like a red velvet curtain. There's like a scene very similar to the stakeout scene in Deadly Premonition.
Is there a museum?
Oh
Or have we not
god,
got that far yet?
I don't know. There might be. That's totally possible.
Man, if that game was really just like word for word that TV show, that is some serious shit.
yeah, I don't.
Like,
I
at
don't,
what point do you just watch an entire TV series and then go, I should make this into a game, and then somehow get funded and actually make it into a game?
It's just
I
really.
wonder what, there's an interesting question. I wonder what the budget was for Deadly Premonition.
Not much.
50p?
That sounds
I
about
bet it was a lot. I bet it was like upwards of 10 million.
right.
Maybe not upwards of 10 million. But I can imagine, like, for a game, it's a big game.
That's what
It
I
is-
was thinking.
A
yeah,
lot of
It
dudes
is-
had to make a lot of stuff
like,
for that game.
It is actually a pretty huge game. It's not it's not like small in scope.
I'm trying to think of the other weird stuff. There was a woman who. Do you remember like the teapot lady in Deadly Premonition?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a log lady who just carries a log around all the time in Twin Peaks. God, what else is Twin Peaks has its own fair share of like unique weird stuff, and Deadly Premonition has its own like Twin Peaks, as far as I can tell, isn't about weird zombies and red seeds and all that shit, but so it's so heavily inspired, it's almost like I don't know. It would be. I'd sort of want to see like David Lynch like play through that game. Like that'd be.
What about if he made a TV show based on Deadly Premonition?
That would also
That'd be
be
amazing.
awesome. Oh, and yeah, like this usually this like the similarities between the way that oh god, what's he? Dale Cooper is the agent in Twin Peaks, and like Francis York Morgan talk is just insane. Like
Francis York Morgan.
holy, no, seriously, it's like I was like, oh man, it's crazy. It's just yeah.
Man, I want to go watch the whole of that Deadly
yeah,
Premonition.
I really want to watch Twin Peaks.
You should
I
watch
was-
So yeah, that as well.
the last episode, the second last episode I watched ended on like a midget dude dancing in a weird room while he talks in like this backwards language. It was messed up. I don't know. David Lynch is a weird dude. I've never been able to watch one of his movies all the way through. So the series it has weird stuff, but it you can't just appreciate for it just being a really interesting like murder mystery thing. But yeah.
What's
So yeah,
Sweary's
I guess
again?
what? Sorry, what?
What's Sweary's next game? Is it the D9
Oh, D. God, what's it? Is it D4?
or the D6?
I've got no idea. Yeah. In other TV news, Luther is back on TV, so I'm very happy.
I
That's
really
awesome.
didn't like Luther.
Oh well.
I was
idea.
like, I'm gonna give this a go. This seems like it has potential. I watched like the first 2 episodes and I was like, this is really bad. I can't watch this.
like Luther. I just like Luther because Idris Elba has charisma. He's a charismatic dude. He was also awesome in The Wire. So yeah,
Is there a new Sherlock series soon, or have I imagined that?
I hope so.
I think
I really like that show.
the ending of the second series was pretty trippy.
Yeah. So that does me for this week. You should watch.
Oh
Twin
my
Peaks.
god! Did you see? You guys have you guys watched the new Star Trek film?
No.
Wow, this isn't going to go well. Okay. How do I do this? There was this forum thread. I don't know. It's probably off of like 4chan or something. I just saw a picture of the discussion, and it was someone theorizing about how Benedict Cumberbatch plays both Sherlock and Khan in the new film. There's like some sort of theory about how Khan in the new Star Trek film was actually like a genetically enhanced Sherlock Holmes, and there is like enough continuity between those two things for it to make sense. Like the timelines of like when Khan was like frozen or whatever it was that he was like sent into cryostasis, like it actually all lines up, and it's kind of weird. And also Spock, I think, says multiple or has in old Star Trek episodes has quoted Sherlock and then said one of my because Spock apparently is related, like the descendant of Sherlock in Star Trek 4, and it's really weird. It's worth looking up if you want. Maybe after you've watched the new film, if you're ever going to get around to that, because that film is actually pretty good and you should go watch it.
Star Trek does like have links with Sherlock, I guess. Like there's a bunch of episodes of TNG where like Data like has a holodeck program where he is Sherlock and like Geordi is Dr. Watson, and there's like a weird AI program which becomes Moriarty.
Yeah.
Star Trek TNG is awesome. That's all.
Cool. Yeah, that was another tangent. Cool. So that's everything you played this week, then.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess that just leaves me. Last weekend, I took part in the Giant Bomb Community Endurance Run.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
Did you guys see any of that? I don't mean live, or did you see the thread at least?
I saw the thread, yeah.
You know, I saw a lot of it.
That's true. You hung around for a while.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you think
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to just hang out in the chat and
Yeah.
watch you play Rayman.
Yeah, so me and a friend of mine whose house I was round because my internet's too shit to live stream played a bunch of Rayman Origins co-op. In fact, we played the whole thing from start to finish in one sitting.
Damn right.
Damn straight we did. And that game's really good for a start.
Yeah.
It's probably the best platformer I've played. Like, I don't know if Super Meat Boy is a really good platformer, but I don't know whether I'd put it in the same category just because it's kind of a different beast.
It's
Yeah,
the same.
totally.
It's the same genre, but it's not the same category. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is a platformer, but it is a very, very different style of
Yeah.
platformer.
Yeah, it's not like relaxing like something like Rayman Origins or a Super Mario game is. And yeah, I think Rayman Origins is one of the best feeling platformers I played since like Super Mario World or something of akin to that. It's really tight, controls really well, and it's gorgeous and has fantastic music, as the chat were very happy to remind us. A lot of people were also watching that whilst had the audio on from our stream whilst watching the Resident Evil stream.
Yeah.
And apparently
Wasn't it
two went really well
it was
together.
Fat Tony's Metal Gear?
Oh, he
stream,
was
wasn't
playing Metal Gear. Sorry, yeah, that was
Yeah.
it, not Resident Evil. So yeah, apparently the Rayman music goes really well with Metal Gear.
it? Yeah. Obviously.
Twin Snakes.
What Resident Evil was being played?
I think I can't remember who it was, but they played through like 1, 2, and a bit of 3.
Yeah, Moztacular, he started his stream after Fat Tony finished Perfect Dark Zero, which, by the way, is a fucking terrible game. And he came on, and apart from, gathering probably almost the most popular section of our little live stream we did over the weekend, we did, for the record, for anyone who doesn't know what our live stream was, it was a 60-hour live stream for charity. Everything we did was in aid of Child's Play. And in the end, we raised $1,200, which was pretty awesome.
That's an amount of money.
It was an amount of money. I was quite pleased. Like, if we made 1,000, I was like going to be very impressed.
Yeah.
And we did, so I was really happy with that. But yeah, Moztacular played through through Resident Evil 1 and 2 in his section, and then started 3, but I don't think he managed to finish it until the next day. But he's a very knowledgeable guy, apparently, about Resident Evil. Like, his knowledge of the first one, like when he was just talking about it. I don't know if you watched any of it, John, did you?
I saw a bit of like the Resident Evil 2 stuff, and like
I would have liked to have seen that because, like, I would have that would have been interesting. I'm quite an avid Resident Evil fan myself.
It's all going up on YouTube at some point when Fat Tony has
I think a lot of it already was.
I know the Planescape Torment went up in its entirety. I don't know if he got around to doing the other sections.
No, all right, okay. I like it because I think someone linked to it in the chat, and then like I looked, and it seemed like there was a decent amount of stuff on there. So
oh, you could probably get it off Twitch still.
Yeah.
It's still up on there. So if you wanted to watch it off there, but yeah, Moztacular knows his shit. Like he knew exactly where he was going and was talking like because obviously I actually have never played a Resident Evil game. Shock horror.
Speaking as someone who has played through those games a lot, it's amazing how much that stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
I played through 3 not that long ago. Probably the first time playing it in like over 10 years. And I remembered everything. I don't know why. I think it's just something about those games. I think it's because how nonsensical everything is in them. It's like, oh, this thing, this book goes in this bit here and opens up this door, which doesn't make any sense. But you just kind of remember it because it's just like, oh,
it's so
so dumb.
By comparison, Tony seemed to get stuck in Metal Gear a lot.
Yeah,
like
he was like, how do I climb out of the thing at the beginning?
Yeah, at the very start, because he like jumped into the water where the ration is, and I was like, how do I get out of here? Which is that was pretty awesome. He also skipped through the codec conversations, which is the wrong way to play that game. So fuck Tony, basically.
What is he doing?
Did you see any of his Perfect Dark Zero?
No.
Okay, because me and Cloak and Device, Tom, my friend, sat with him for I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours of his stream in 2 separate sittings, and God damn it! Both times we turned up, he was horribly, horribly stuck. He got stuck on the second mission when we woke up in the morning for about an hour, just doing the same mission over and over again because it was that janky. Like one time he did actually complete it, and then the game bugged out, so he had to restart it again. And then
so
when
I take it like playing older, broken, shitty games was part of this run.
Yeah, it was obviously meant to be in spirit of the idea of the endurance run.
Yeah.
So either games people held nostalgia about, or games that are kind of weird. Hence, Planescape Torment and Vampire the Masquerade being played. Vampire the Masquerade looks really cool, by the way.
Yeah, I've played like a couple of hours of that. I just never got back to it.
Yeah.
That game's got it's got some interesting stuff going
So
on.
that game has some bugs. I don't know if you saw any of the screenshots that were floating around, but there was one point where the dude who drives the taxi, his car just was invisible. He was sitting.
Oh
in,
yeah,
saying,
totally.
"Would you like to get in?" And he wasn't sitting inside.
Yeah, I did see that. And then
That was
Yeah.
a great screenshot. So yeah, Fat Tony playing Perfect Dark Zero. Yeah, he got stuck on the second and third mission multiple times. We had to use walkthroughs to help him get through it. Then we go away, and we come back, and he's done almost the entire game. He's actually on like the final mission. He thought he was on the second last mission. And we're sitting with him watching this boss battle, and we were like, "This boss battle is kind of stupid." And then he kills the boss. The boss was like, "No, don't shoot me. I want to take my own life," or something, and then just poofs into thin air. And then the game just ended. And
This
we were
is
like,
Perfect
"This
Dark."
ends the game. Yes.
What?
The last boss has a sword, like throwing Roman pillars at you, and then you have to take his sword off him and stab him with it.
Huh.
game sounds awesome.
All
It
right.
sounds great. It's terrible though. And then the game just ended, and the credits started rolling. Just no fanfare or anything. It just literally just went for like.
That's
end.
the sign of a good game. I remember the end of the Sum of All Fears, the PS2 game of the movie, being like
Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
being like four dudes getting in a van and driving away, which was pretty amazing. Yeah.
What do you guys think's the worst game ending ever?
That's certainly up to Sum of All Fears.
Like for whatever reason, like worse as in just flat out bad, like four dudes getting in a van, or worse because of like Halo 2 syndrome or what?
Yeah, Halo 2's
Halo
is
2 was a
Halo
great-
2's was pretty fucking bad.
God.
Perfect Dark rivals Halo 2 for holy shit. This just ended. What?
Yeah, God.
I'm
sure I've played something recently. I'm sure that has like a really just like out of nowhere, just this the end. Like, God.
I can tell you what the best ending is.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Go
That
on.
ending was amazing.
that ending
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Just
Yeah.
when the character in the game questions the game's own ending, and then it ends, and you're like, "What?"
The Brotherhood one's pretty good as well.
I can't remember the brother film.
The one where
Blood ending
thingy-
is good, but they
The
just
lady gets stabbed.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good, but I mean, if we're strictly ending speaking, that is a great ending. But then they like just shit all over it.
Yeah, then they fuck it up in subsequent games. But
Yeah, that's a good ending.
yeah. So like, yes, that community endurance run was
Killzone 2's got a pretty bad ending.
people didn't like the Killzone 3 ending also.
Yeah, Killzone 3 ending's pretty shit, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, the story's not really great in those games, but the Hellgas deserve to be in such a better story. But yeah, Killzone 2's ending is, in a way, horrible, and in a way, it's actually really good. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, it gets a reaction out of you. Like,
That's like the peak of Rico's fucking shittiness. That's
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. He just like spoiler alert for what 4-year-old game, but whatever. Yeah, when he just like shoots the guy, and he's like, yeah, like he's all like fucking macho about it, and it's like, you fucking idiot.
Oh, that guy sucks.
I agree with Jeff. Like, the start of Killzone 3 should have just been you shooting Rico in the head. It's been like, that would have made it the best game ever. But yeah, Killzone need to get rid of Rico.
Oh god, Mass Effect 3. Holy shit.
I haven't played that, but yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, how did it take us that
Like
long?
in terms of just like the just size of the reaction and like
Yeah.
what that entailed, like the ending itself, like yeah, it's bad. Maybe not as bad as other stuff, but it's just like what that did and like
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That got quite the reaction.
Most impactful ending.
Yeah.
What was it that they had in one of the trailers for that game? No, not trailers. It was an advert. It was like most
Yeah,
controversial game ending ever.
Yeah, it was like most talked about ending ever.
Yeah,
something.
it's like, they left
that's-
out the part because everybody's saying it's a pile of shit. Like,
Such a good way of spinning that.
yeah, it really was.
Marketing speech for the win.
Yes.
Anyway, where were we? Yeah, so I played through the whole of Rayman. Rayman's a really cool game. We did get stuck on the final level for a bit, and John, I don't know if you were still watching at that point, but
I
I was. You know how you fight the first two bosses again, but in like a kind of shortened form, back to back. I was like kind of excited. I was like, oh sweet, it's going to be like a boss run, and you just run all 4 bosses.
Yeah.
You fight the first 2, and it's like now disco time, and I had no idea what was happening.
I don't know.
Can you explain that at all?
They are French.
Yeah, because it's like this dude who is quite clearly like the main antagonist in the game. You just start dancing with them, and then they jump out the window, and you have to chase them.
Maybe that's what they do in France. I can't really tell.
That last bit's pretty hard.
Yeah, that last bit's like really reminiscent of like the chest stuff.
Yes, it's like the only part of the game that actually requires you to play well.
Yeah, like the main
the main game.
stuff.
Yes, the bit that you're required to play
Um,
to complete the game.
I feel like you and the French do like an addendum and do like the
Turkish
bonus level. Like
Is it good? Is it worth
yeah,
it?
it's also got the best music in the game.
Oh shit.
Surprisingly, no ukulele. Actually, there might be ukulele or
You love your
whatever
ukulele.
instrument that is.
You love your
I couldn't work out whether it was ukulele or banjo because I don't know, both those instruments just sort
Both
of
are very similar,
yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah, God, that game's music is something else.
Yeah. The main problem for us was we had to have the audio really quiet, so I didn't feed back into the mic, so I didn't really hear most of the game's audio. Particularly the end scene where they were disco dancing, I could not hear what the music was for that scene. I was just like, they're dancing? Did I miss something?
Yeah.
I was really confused.
And then there's like the 20 minutes of credits.
Yeah, you told us to skip that. I generally like to watch credits. And then we busted out VVVVVVV.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say about Rayman. Like, if you beat the bonus level, you can like destroy the credits.
Okay, they should have just done that as the real credits.
Yeah, well, you've got to actually beat the proper end of the game.
Yeah, but you have to get so many fucking Electoons.
Yeah,
How many do you have to get?
It's
200.
quite a lot.
So
And
remember,
I have like 120 at the moment, so something stupid like that.
We like I like finished it with a friend, and we went back like a couple of months after to do that stuff, and it took quite a while, like to
Like just
get
to
enough.
grind this out and then record.
And then record, like, the end, yeah.
Treasures and the ending. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen there. Because like, other than doing the time trials, you also have to just go back and find all the hidden, get more lums and find the hidden crates of Electoons.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, is a stupid word.
Electoons, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a really bad word.
I sort of like the one thing about the game. I wish they'd even like attempted to have a story. It's like the story in that game is non-existent.
I didn't even know that guy was the bad guy. You can play as
exactly.
his
It's so
twin anyway. It's just like, why is
weird.
there's an enemy? Oh, okay.
I feel like at a point there might have been there might have like someone was like pushing for a story and they just said no, let's
do
just
the boob ladies.
let's like keep the budget down and just get this game out. And yeah,
well, it's a shame that game didn't do as well as it.
I mean, I heard
it did well.
turned
Though,
a profit,
yeah.
didn't it?
Really,
Yeah,
I
it made a profit.
I thought it did quite poorly.
Like,
it really didn't sell very well.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
but like
I
think it like the costs were just so low that even it didn't sell that much, but it still
It
actually.
doesn't show that it's a low budget game at all.
Oh yeah, no.
It's
It's like
gorgeous.
all the hand animated stuff is just.
And I didn't realize it was so long.
Yeah. It's
Going
pretty.
into it, I was thinking it was like a
length
5-hour game, but no, we played it for 9 hours.
Yeah, well, it like does that thing where you think, oh, this game seems quite short and quite close to the end, and then it's just like, play through like all the worlds again, pretty
Yeah, I
much.
was like, shit, have we completed this already halfway through? And then it was just like, boom, every level now has an additional level attached to it. Go. But yeah, that was cool. I really liked it. Really, really good game. Next up, I've got a whole bunch of things down on this list, but a lot of them I
you also played some VVVV.
Oh yeah, I forgot
which-
VVVV.
Yeah.
Did I play that well enough? I'm really bad at VVVV.
I currently I saw a bit of it. You got up to that bit with like the dude who was following you. I think.
Yeah, when you, I don't know if it's always like this, or at least it has been the 2 times that I played the game because it deleted my save the first time through. But when you get the second dude, regardless of which dude you find second, you get teleported to some random world because the teleporter breaks, and then you have to help him get back to
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I played that. Can't be.
Okay, yeah, that bit's really fucking hard, and I got up to the room I got stuck on before it deleted my save, and then luckily had to hand over. So I was like, thank God I don't have to embarrass myself and play that room for the next 3 hours
Yeah.
because I have no idea how to beat it. It's
That game has great music too. VV.
Also, yes.
Oh my God, that game has great music. It really does.
Yeah, well, I like as you were playing that, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe learn some of this stuff on guitar. That stuff is fucking impossible to play on guitar. Like, holy shit! It's like because it's all done on like synths and keyboards.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I wouldn't even have thought you would be able to play
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, some crazy guys like done all the like the tablature for it on a. There's
Oh, really?
a pretty good website called Game Tabs, which just has like video game music for guitar and bass and stuff. And
Yeah.
geez, holy shit! Like some of that stuff is just because it's all like hand picked, and it's just that's just not something I can do. So yeah.
That's a shame.
Maybe I'll pick up a synth at some point and learn the VVV soundtrack on that.
And maybe someday I will finish VVV because that game is apparently only like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's quite short, and also the end and the ending music is pretty amazing.
As long as it doesn't delete my save again, I think that happens. Yeah, so I got a couple other things written down here that are only really worth mentioning in passing. I've still been playing some Animal Crossing. I've literally done nothing different from what I did last week this week. That's one thing I do want to mention about it though, is it kind of sucks how a lot of the stuff that I know and like about Animal Crossing, for example, KK Slider and the Nook Shop upgrading as you spend more time with it, just seems either locked behind a longer time wall. I think the KK Slider stuff, you have to wait ages before the dude will turn up and say, yeah, I'm going to build the nightclub so you can come listen to KK Slider. Because like it's been at least 2 Saturdays since I got that game now, and every time I'm like, I want to go listen to KK Slider this evening, I can't because there isn't one yet. And that seems like a really, I don't know if it's a bad design decision or just not to the way I want to play that game. That combined with the whole Tom Nook shop upgrading when you spend enough money in it only works if there's stuff in the shop I actually want to buy, which there isn't. So I don't know if it's ever going to upgrade, or I'm just going to have to throw money at shit I don't want and then sell it back just so that the shop upgrades. Which really sucks, because I kind of like seeing the little Nooklings shop grow bigger. It's kind of cool. I also played some Project Cars, which the only reason I'm mentioning it this week, obviously, other than the fact that obviously last week I mentioned I had bought a racing wheel, and that game is really good with the racing wheel using the force feedback and all that kind of cool jazz. But that game links with Steam now. The latest update they did gave everyone who has bought into the game so far a serial key that they can then punch into Steam and download the game through Steam, and it has like I assume it's going to have like proper Steam integration and stuff, which is cool. I think eventually at some point they're going to move away from their standalone version and only do it through Steam, which is interesting because so far the way they sold it was like you're an investor, and I think you even get a return on the profits of the game proportional to how much money you put into it beforehand, as well as some creative direction on the project. Obviously, there was a whole load of controversy with regards to that. They got investigated and stuff, and then they had to stop selling the tool packs that they were selling. So I wasn't able to upgrade my one to the one where I get the full game. So at the moment, apparently, what I get with mine is a part of the profits. I don't know how much. It'll probably be absolutely bugger all, as well as €10 off the full game when it comes out. Now, if they're selling it through Steam now, I wonder how they're going to deliver that €10 discount to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to still buy it through them and then they give me a new Steam key, or does that just renew my account? Because at the moment, when you launch the game, it opens a launcher, and then you type your username and password into the launcher, and it downloads and lets you log in. If it's done through Steam, Steam is handling the updating now, and there are obviously certain versions of the game that I can't play. I'm only allowed to play monthly builds. So at the moment, I can't play, and there's also content that I'm locked out of, like certain cars and stuff. So I don't know how they're going to keep gating me from that, or whether they're going to have logins on top of stuff. But I assumed it would be linked to your Steam account. So yeah, that's all really confusing, and I don't know how that's going to work. But it's cool to see that game becoming an actual real project, because that feels like it's been in development forever. And for the longest time, they've said, it's going to be coming out on Xbox and PS3, and that's becoming 360 and PS3, and that's becoming increasingly less relevant.
Yeah.
And the latest bunch of patch notes just had loads of Wii U fixes in. Because apparently that's going to come out on Wii U, and I can't for the life of me work out why. Hardcore racing sim, Wii U.
It just screams Wii U to me.
I know, right? And the amazing graphics are going to go so well on that outdated hardware.
I know. They might as well put it on PS2. Ooh, but...
All right, that might be going to
might be going a little bit too far.
Yeah, just a tad. So the only other thing I really want to talk about is fucking Trackmania Valley. Trackmania 2 Valley, should I say. The new Trackmania 2 expansion came out, guys.
How is it? I'm very, very unfamiliar with Trackmania, to be honest.
So the way Trackmania do their thing is they release different, I suppose you would call them tile sets, but the way they refer to them is environments, along with a new physics model for the car. So Valley, as you can imagine, is set in rolling hills and mountains, mountain roads, and some of the tiles are really cool. They have like little village tile pieces now, so there are like little houses that you can drive in amongst, and then there's a big off-road component to it. Like there's always a dirt track section, and the dirt track bit for Valley's in like a little forest, and there's lakes and stuff. It looks really pretty, is what I'm trying to say. They've really outdone themselves with the graphics of the new environment. The handling model is really interesting, though. It's a massive departure from Canyon, which was the way Trackmania 2 launched. Canyon was a lot about drifting. Like you had lots of big sweeping corners, which you could just almost go full speed through just by tapping the brake and sliding through. It was really easy to drift. In Valley, the whole thing is like you want to avoid drifting at all costs. If you drift, you lose so much speed because it's a lot sharper drifting. Like if you tap on that brake, you'll be doing a very sharp turn, lose all your speed, have to re-accelerate again, and it really kills your momentum. So the off-road sections, which traditionally in Trackmania 2 are really slidey, and when you start sliding, you start drifting. So if you're doing the off-road sections incorrectly and not keeping the car straight, you actually just keep losing a lot of speed constantly. So the way you have to do it is you have to keep perfectly straight on the straights, then only tap the stick. I'm playing with an Xbox controller. Obviously, you could play with a keyboard, but you have to tap into the corner the right amount so that you don't adjust partway through. Because if you have to steer more into the drift or steer more out of the drift, it really slows you down. So you want to kind of do it smoothly in one motion, then come out of the corner and keep control of the car and not wiggle on the dirt. And so that's been an interesting challenge, as well as it's a lot more about when you're on the on-road sections and you come up to a sharp corner. What you want to do instead of braking, well, not necessarily braking, but instead of coming in and drifting like you would have been able to in Canyon, you want to just let the car slow down by easing off the accelerator a distance before the corner. And that's one of the better ways to, or at least the better ways that I've found so far to maintain your speed. So yeah, really, really different handling, which has been interesting to see. The community has again shrunk, however, you would imagine. So it's getting even more niche as far as Trackmania goes, but I like it enough to keep playing it. And there's still a Giant Bomb server which has fucking god awful dubstep on it to go to, which I think is the only way I can actually play that game now. Like if I go on other servers which don't have terrible dubstep, I drive worse. And I think it says a lot about that game. That's the only way I can play now, is with awful dubstep playing.
The only way I can play is with share music on.
Yeah, the Europop is amusing. Like there
is she still alive?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's being
wondered,
kept alive somehow.
Yeah, like, isn't she like fucking ridiculously
Preserved.
old? Preserved.
She's like
jellied.
70 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she's really old.
She's not really old. She's quite old.
I'm gonna Wikipedia this
I-
shit.
As am I.
A lot of the French servers all just play Europop trash.
Yeah, that sounds. 67. That's
67. Okay, yeah, I thought she was like late 70s. So yeah, I mean, 67's not really old. That's just old.
Still looks really weird though.
That's because she's
Like,
refusing to
Holy
age.
crap!
I guess you could say.
You mean the plastic in her
Oh god.
refusing to age?
Yes. She looks like if Ozzy Osbourne and Michael Jackson had a child. Which isn't a
Who do
good
you guys
thing.
think's like the most annoying musical act? Well, or like singer, whatever, musician, artist. It just pisses you off more than anything, more than any other.
I couldn't possibly choose.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's so many, or?
Yeah, there are so many bad.
All right then.
musical
Okay.
acts.
Top three. Top three.
God.
Axl Rose sort of really sucks.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking annoying. I don't know if he'd be top three though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really keep up with modern music because
Me neither. Not at all. I only know. I think that's why like most of the stuff that I see is kind of annoying because it's always like the most generic, popular garbage ever.
One Direction.
yeah, those guys are pretty terrible.
Lady Gaga.
I
Man,
don't know. She's
she-
still a thing.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about her.
Yeah, that's
She's
why
so,
I was
like,
kind of
not
refraining
relevant
from
anymore.
including her.
She was fucking crazy though. I mean,
I
Justin
don't know
Bieber.
anything in the charts.
I've never heard a Justin Bieber song, so I can't really comment on that. I just know
Ah.
that he looks.
Literally any artist that is in the top 40 chart at any point instantly goes onto this list.
So no
Because
real
people's
personal-
opinion on music, like the general public's opinion on music, is outright bad.
That's pretty...
Objectively, I think what is popular music nowadays is generally shit.
You know though, like I'm so fucking out of touch with like modern music. I couldn't actually tell you what's
I
popular.
don't know.
So why don't you treat yourself
Like-
to listening to every song in the top 40?
That Daft Punk song was alright.
No.
Oh,
The Daft Punk song, when I heard it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard this song about 10 years ago.
I mean, they're not really like new or anything, but I got one. You two are pretty fucking annoying.
oh god, I hate Bono so much. I hate Bono and he's his little crony.
The fucking douchebag guitarist, because I refuse to use.
Oh,
his
what the
douchebag
Edge?
name. Oh man, he's like fucking 50, and he has a
The Edge
fucking. Oh, what a fuck.
The Edge is terrible.
Yeah, fuck.
They're just so terrible.
Yeah, they are.
Bill Bailey
You know-
actually has
you know,
a hilarious joke that he does with his live shows where it's like, what would happen if there was like a horrible technical breakdown at like a U2 concert and he starts playing like this. It's just got so many effects on the guitar and then like all of them just go off and he's playing like a nursery rhyme on his guitar. It's pretty, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, the only thing worse than U2 are U2 fans.
I don't know any, so.
My ex-girlfriend's parents used to like really be into U2.
Oh, right, what the? He was the guy who was in Boomtown Rats.
Fuck knows.
Oh, fucking. He does all the Live Aid shit and What the fuck
I
is-
have no idea.
him and Bono were like best friend. Oh fuck, he's annoying, but he doesn't. Oh, Bob Geldof, there we go. Fucking hell, he's a dick.
Is he as big of a dick as Bono?
Yeah,
What kind
he's
of a
like-
fucking name is Bono? Like, even as a nickname, that is fucking lame.
The
Like,
edge is worse.
The Edge is worse, I grant you, but
Talk-
you know, still. Like,
Talking about names, did you see that that woman on that breakfast show controversy thing?
no.
No.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna look this up. Bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
Talk about bad music for a bit longer.
Okay, I can talk about bad music quite a bit.
I don't like bad music. I only like good music. Duh.
I mean, like, it's not good. It's like, I mean, you know, good versus bad music. You know, there's probably nothing more subjective, but you know, it's the Lady Gagas of the world, I guess. That's like really interesting to talk about.
I like music that's composed by someone with talent
Yeah,
rather than
I
a
agree.
corporate shill.
But like Lady Gaga's music isn't terrible, like per se. Like I would rather listen to that than listen to like fucking, you know, I don't know what the genre is called, but you know, like You know, rap music is the genre, I guess, but it seems to be a specific type where it's like a dude from fucking Bristol or something, like just talking in a really fucking like dumb ass Mong voice, like really fast, like quite obviously.
Oh, you mean
sped
like
by a computer?
You mean like no, those guys actually, I've seen it done like live.
Oh right, okay.
They actually.
But yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I
Like
want to
it's
kill myself.
I guess it's called MCing, but it's not really.
I don't know. Like
It's like it used to be. Like there was a period of like a couple of years where that was like a really popular genre of music, especially like in the north.
That's
like,
what I'm kind of referring. Like, I would rather listen to like I would rather sit through like a Lady Gaga album than listen to like one.
Oh no, yeah,
that's
stuff's terrible. Like some of that stuff's like pretty hilarious, like ironically, or some of it's actually sort of like intentionally hilarious, I guess. But yeah,
majority like, it's just such a like fucking load of noise. It's just bullshit.
I mean, some people like it, I guess.
Well, some people are fucking idiots, but I mean, you know. Some people like you too. Actually, a lot of fucking people, if their record sales are anything to go by, like you too.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I find it hard to make judgments on other people's music taste because
I don't really make judgments per se. Like, I mean, you know, everybody likes what they like, but I mean, I kind of agree with Brad. Like, you know, there's a line. You know,
some music is literally.
Some music is literally just
there is no talent in
this.
It's
just
crafted to be catchy, to sell copies.
That's a talent.
I
guess, to be specific. Actually, it might not be a talent.
But if there's no like I don't know emotion or like anything in the song, like why are you even listening to that shit? Anyway,
like if you take away someone's MacBook and they no longer can make music, like you know, get the fuck out of here.
The news story I was talking about was the Katie Hopkins controversy on This Morning.
That does ring a bell, but I don't know the details.
No. Neither of you. Okay. Go onto YouTube after this because it's like a 9-minute video.
Oh, can't you just like sum it up?
I will, but I'm just going to tell you what to do because you should watch this regardless of what I say. But type in Katie Hopkins and that'll probably bring it up. There's probably not a lot you need to do. It's 9 minutes long, and it's basically her talking about how she judges children based on their first name.
Who is Katie Hopkins, by the way?
I don't know. She's just. I think she's been on like some reality TV or some other bullshit. She's like the most inconsequential person in the world, but it's just fucking hilarious that she would go out in public and say this shit. She basically makes herself seem like the biggest piece of human garbage on the planet. And she also says India isn't a geographical place at one point. It's quite amusing.
Yeah, I don't know when people like go out of the way to say really really stupid stuff on TV, it just makes me think that like one, they're just like mentally affected and someone is like taking advantage of them, or they are just desperately seeking attention and just like I don't know. Like there was all this stuff with
more often than not, it's probably
what was that lawyer guy Jack Thompson who
the video game dude.
Yeah, that guy like I doubt that guy like believed a lot of what he was saying because
I mean either that was like his fucking avenue to moderate celebrity
like the whole gay sexual content thing in Bully, like that whole thing was just like this guy is just completely out of touch or really desperately seeking attention. I just think
I think it's more
that's probably what that person's doing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, me and you didn't know who the fuck she was, so.
Yeah, but I imagine, like, if I look at the YouTube comments, it's just people like, "Oh my god, this person," like.
Yeah, YouTube comments, just oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. I'll rephrase that. Internet comment sections just make me sad.
A lot of them are pretty terrible.
They really make me unhappy to see, just how stupid. Like most people are. Although maybe not necessarily that, maybe like how kind of eager people are to let people know how stupid they actually are is more frightening than the comment themselves. It's like they post something and like they don't actually think, should I actually not post this? Does this make me seem like an idiot? No, of course it doesn't. This makes me seem like an intelligent human being.
Or they just don't care. Like,
Well, yeah, or they just don't care. I don't know what's worse.
All right.
Anyway.
we should before we.
We probably should get back
This is
on
like
topic.
possibly the most off-topic episode. I
Yeah,
think
we-
we've ever
we-
done.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
We
very far
how long
off
have we
this.
even been going? We must have been going over an hour.
about hour and a half.
Shit, we've nearly been going 2 hours. Like, what the fuck have we been talking about?
Crap music,
Yeah.
internet.
Talking of crap music, did anyone see any Glastonbury?
No,
I don't know.
No,
that was
Oh,
the
okay.
best segue ever.
that was really good.
Dinosaur Jr. were at Glastonbury and they were awesome. There we go. That was
No,
my
I didn't.
shameless.
Speaking of Glastonbury, have either of you guys ever been to a festival?
Nope. Don't want to ever do that ever.
Really?
Just doesn't seem something I would find appealing at all.
Oh, that's fair enough. You should. I have been to one and it was fucking awesome. You should.
I don't want to go outdoors. I don't want to listen to music with other people.
Fair enough. That if you yeah okay fair enough. Then,
Listening to music with other people may be like the worst thing ever, in
You
my
know,
opinion.
like,
Not
what,
like live gigs.
I-
Do you know any live?
you've never
I would, no,
gone to a gig or anything?
I would like to go. I've been to a few gigs and I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be with
You know,
like
your own?
I don't know, like all the crowd shots of Glastonbury when I was watching Dinosaur Jr. were like these I despised every single person in the audience. Like they were just terrible, terrible people. And
Do you elaborate? It sounds like there's a story here.
no, like they were just dicks, just like I don't know. It's just a
What,
personal
just
like
a crowd
hang
of
up thing.
penises, like just
No, they were just I don't know. They just all seemed like bellends.
so it was just a crowd of penises.
People I wouldn't want to associate with at all. And like,
Fair enough. Brad, are you as adverse to festivals as John? Or
Only
just-
because I hate all the music that would play there.
Yeah, true. I went to Download Festival, by the way, in like 2005.
I would go to Download.
I would go to Download,
give
I guess.
a shot.
Download was fucking.
Download is the only festival I would ever even.
And we had
consider.
like the lineup for the year. I mean, look up like the 2005 lineup. It was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
I haven't been since, but yeah, that was fucking awesome.
the only problem with Download for me is like one, like I wouldn't like the majority of the acts. Like a lot of the stuff just isn't for me. Like I have quite a specific taste in like that sort of rock music, I guess. And then
Yeah.
people I do like are about 70 and would probably be terrible live. So yeah,
That's true. I mean, like it's kind of it's like 8 years ago now that I went, and I think like that genre has not necessarily changed all that much, but I think that festival has like in the years since that I've been, like there are certain acts that have been announced, and I just think, what the fuck are they doing there? Like
Yeah.
why would they be at Download? That doesn't make any sense.
yeah. There's always like one or two good like headliners, and then the rest is just like I would never
Yeah, the rest is
watch
just kind of like filler.
people live.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny, like whenever I see people talk about festivals, it always seems like they're trying to justify the fact that they went to the festival. It's like
Oh
always-
yeah, they are.
It's
They-
people like, oh, like I saw this band which I usually hate, but they were great live. It's like,
Yeah,
but were they really, or were you just saying they're great live because you paid like some inordinate
Yes,
amount
yeah.
of money to like
Yes.
go to this
I
Not paying
festival?
that
Like,
much
I
money.
hate that mentality. I mean, I don't know. Might come off as a little sexist, but I don't mean it to be sexist. You guys might even be able to relate, but like, it seems like pretty much every single girl I've ever met always wants to go to the V-Fest. And when you ask them why, and it's like, oh, because I just want to. It's like there's no fucking reason behind it. There's no like, oh, because so and so's on. I really want to see them live. It's like, oh, because it'd be cool, dude.
I don't know. Like I think there's a certain group of people that just want to go to festivals regardless.
Yeah, I guess it's like the
music, but
festival
it's-
like groupie crowd that just want to go
Yeah,
and, like fuck somebody.
Like
and
the
get-
people who wear, festival armbands on their wrists for like a year after the festival and are the worst people ever and should die.
That's
Like
true.
those sorts of people.
If you wear your T-shirt like afterwards, like like after you've been, it's like, nah, come on, dude. Really? Like,
Yeah.
I haven't worn like my Download T-shirt in like forever. It's
Yeah.
fucking. But yeah, anyway, live music. Live
I
music.
wonder,
is good.
I wonder when is download? It's like
Download
it's
is usually like the midweek of June, I think.
oh okay,
It's
so it's
always
probably-
like the second weekend of June.
yeah. I was just wondering what acts would have been on this year.
I have no idea who was there this year.
Quick internet search will.
Yeah.
Speaking of download and that sort of genre of music, yeah, Black Sabbath's new album was surprisingly good.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like not. It's not like their old stuff in a lot of ways, but it's
Yeah.
it's not like some classic album that I'm gonna love for years and years, but like
But it was pretty.
for what like Ozzy Osbourne was for a long time and like what that band was.
Yeah,
it's amazing that they've been able to come out with like a pretty solid just metal album, which doesn't sound like either like old people just not having a clue anymore, or like them really, really, really trying to be modern and just being shit. It just sounds like they're just sort of doing their own thing, which
I think like modern music's really
cool.
weird now, though. Like, I mean,
like I don't know. I think people say that
it's weird
like,
that like bands
every-
like I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird that to think like Black Sabbath are still making new albums.
I guess.
Like, and like just like modern music in general is I just find kind of strange. It's
Like
like there's so much out, and like there's so like there's never been kind of like I guess more scope for it to be different, and yet like you don't seem to hear like much individual stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like a lot of the same shit that you hear.
But I mean, I guess the thing is like this has probably always been the case, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just I don't know. I guess I wasn't around in the 70s, so I couldn't tell you what the music scene was really like back then. But like, I don't know. It's like it just seems like that like a lot of that stuff's just been sort of buried, I guess, because there are just so many musical acts now, and it's like quite easy, I guess, to like be on iTunes or whatever.
True.
And like so it just means like the audience just ends up getting like it be like the audience for a band can be like so small that like I don't know, you don't get like mass followings behind like weird sort of alternative bands because there are so many of them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's a good point.
Like there's not like I don't know, like when like Nirvana were in the charts, like I don't think that's gonna happen again, like because there's not gonna I can't think of like an alternative band that's like in.
And I think mainly because like you think of the band, like I mean not necessarily bands, but any artist or anything like that that are really popular, like they're all over the place. Like you think of I don't know, like a popular artist, pull one out of thin air, like Beyonce or something like that. Like she's so like ridiculously huge that like she's not really gonna like she's always gonna be kind of renowned no matter what. Like she's never really gonna go away. Whereas like if she did, for example, it would maybe like clear a bit of room for more attention on other things. But...
Yeah. I always have this weird thing where I try and think like he were going to be like the artists from like this generation, like I suppose like from like 2000 to like 2010 that we're going to like look back on and be like, yeah,
that's an interesting topic for discussion.
This band is like going to be like remembered, like
yeah,
like the 90s had its.
Did it have any really?
I mean, it had like I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana,
Yeah, but I mean Nirvana. I mean, it's tragic to why they're not still around, but yeah, Nirvana definitely.
Like they'll like Smells Like Teen Spirit is like sort of instantly recognizable.
Yeah, true. But I mean, yeah, there's not many that like.
No, I guess a lot of rap groups in that time because that's like really when rap, especially in America, took off. Like NWA, Straight Outta Compton is a pretty big album from back then. Like,
my first thought was probably Eminem, but he was more late 90s than 2000, wasn't he? Like,
I mean, like I'm talking 90s, off. Like as like
2000 onwards. Yeah, that's
like 2000 onwards is like where I just like can't think of anyone who's like. I mean, I guess like you mentioned Beyonce, like she was like,
but wasn't she? I mean,
she stayed relevant for quite a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, but I mean, yeah, you could probably say Beyonce. I mean, like as a solo artist, I guess.
I guess Daft Punk have been. I mean, Daft Punk's first album came out in like 1997. So
yeah, like that is late 90s.
Yeah.
God, man, what music has like fucking come out in this
That's
time?
a good question.
Like, I was trying to think, like, what about like the new, like, kind of the new metal era, like 2002 to like 2005?
I mean, Linkin Park is still around.
Yeah, I can't believe they're actually still going.
Yeah, but their new albums have been shite.
Yeah, but
I guess,
like
but-
they are not Linkin Park anymore, though.
No,
Like-
exactly.
like,
That's
yeah,
why
like-
they've been shite.
Yeah, it's like their first album was fucking awesome. It was fucking insane, and now it's like basically just the same shit over and over again. Like it's like they like yeah, the band is around, and as far as I know, it's the same. Is it the same people? Is it like the same lineup, or have they swapped out anybody?
I mean, it's like there's like 6 people in Linkin Park, isn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, but for the music they make, they might as well be called something else now. You know,
Yeah.
like there's not many that are kind of stuck around and you know kind of
Um,
maintained their fan base, I guess.
Queens of the Stone Age. I think their first album came out in the 90s, but they became a lot more popular, I guess, in like the 2000s sort of
Mhm.
era.
There was a lot of bands that had like kind of just that one album when like the like grungy new metal phase was kind of popular.
Yeah.
Because the Stone Age had one song that I can remember.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know, oh
One
man,
song that I listened to.
Queens of the Stone Age are awesome. Like
Anyway,
still,
that's-
I think they like their new album like just came out.
That's
Um,
not my type of music.
Yeah. Okay. Oh well, yeah. You don't like the guitar, so they'll like.
I do like the guitar.
Didn't you?
I did not say I do not like the guitar. When did you finish? Did I
I'm
say-
sure. I
What?
could.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Swear
Brad
down that
saying.
you said like you didn't like the guitar.
I think you're thinking of someone else.
That's crazy. I don't know where I got that from.
I love
man.
my considering like I would probably say my favorite genre is like progressive metal. I
Oh,
hope
shit,
I
yeah,
like
You guys
guitar.
remember what was it? What was it? They had one
Okay.
letter as their. It was A. Do you guys remember A, the band?
No, I do not remember A.
Seriously.
I remember like seeing the name around, but I don't
Yeah,
think I actually.
There was a
listened to
band
it.
called it was just A. That was their name, and ironically enough, their like their only song that was kind of notorious was called Nothing, and it's kind of funny when you think about it.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
It's like the dude that like kind of looks like he's from Final Fantasy is like just walking down the street in the music video.
Mm-mm.
Had a decent riff though, that song.
Alien Ant Farm,
Alien Out, yeah, they had like the Michael Jackson cover, and then no
Yeah.
one gave a fuck about them.
and they had like one of the.
That was
songs.
It was a really good
good-
Michael Jackson cover though.
Yeah, I
Like-
was just about to say that
So-
exact same thing. It was a really good Michael
It
Jackson.
was better than the original, which is saying something.
Fuck that shit. The original's better.
Yeah, I quite like Michael Jackson. That's
Yeah.
he like his music is definitely something I haven't really. I definitely didn't like it when I was younger, but like as I've got older, like yeah, he is.
Appreciate the craftsmanship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess like
For all the
beat,
weird
like,
shit
kind of-
surrounding that dude, that
Yeah.
guy could write a fucking pop song like
Yeah,
That guy
loves
was like
business.
born and brought up to be a showman. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was.
He was.
It's so his life is sort of like sad and tragic, but like
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
the music.
Yeah,
in-
like that's another thing actually. Now that we're on, so like the Michael Jackson like hate, I for some reason really pisses me off.
I didn't even know there was Michael Jackson.
No, you didn't. Really?
you know, like the whole like
The whole like people that are like, oh, he was a
pedo thing.
pedophile and gay and
Oh
all
well, yeah.
that sort. You know,
Rumors
like the
and
fucking
shit.
redneck hate, basically. No offense to like rednecks. I mean, you know what I
They
mean.
don't have a group.
But yeah, like that stuff. Oh man, it really. I don't know why, because like usually that sort of stuff just doesn't really bother me. But in his case, like you think of like his childhood and that, and it's like it is annoying for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on the Mega Drive?
Nope.
Oh man, that game was awesome. That game was so cool. It probably was terrible, but I remember it being really cool.
Yeah.
You guys should get a Mega Drive and play that.
Yeah, after like how I was saying to you, Joe, like how like a few of the headliners downloads sound awesome, but the rest is like terrible. Like, yeah, that's pretty much like this year was like I'm in Queens of the Stone Age and Motorhead were all on the same day, which would have been pretty cool. But then it's like Rammstein and
What? Rammstein's amazing.
Slipknot.
Yeah,
I don't like
Slipknot's also
Rammstein.
amazing.
I really don't like Slipknot. Limp Bizkit
Pussy.
and the
I
Shikari.
think think I've seen
Blackstone Cherry.
What? Blackstone Cherry? Is that really a band name?
Him. The Hives
sounds
one.
like a
I like the
really
Hives, but
Perverse thing for like losing your virginity or something. Blackstone Cherry.
I gave
That's
her the
fucked up.
Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, man.
so why don't you like Rammstein?
Rammstein are fucking good.
It's not my thing at all.
Yeah, but they are like
Rammstein
most-
are good.
batshit insane
They are fucking
performance
crazy.
you will ever
Yeah.
see in your entire
it
life.
just
The
doesn't.
same sort of thing for Slipknot. Slipknot are fucking insane.
Yeah.
Slipknot just seem like the main dude just seems like the worst person in the world,
What Corey?
and then like yeah, like he
He's-
seems like the
I
biggest,
can,
like
I guess, agree with
douchebag bro guy, and it's just like it makes me think like all the like the weird like mask stuff is just him just being like, oh dude, it'd be sick if I put on a sick mask and then like just went raw, and, like
Well, I mean,
it just makes me
the
hate them.
origins,
like,
the
so.
origins of the mask was for, it was to be, what's that fucking word? Anonymous. Like
Yes.
that, I think that was like the origins of the mask.
Mm.
Like so, nobody knew who they were.
Yeah, but I mean they're also meant to be like intimidating, I guess.
I guess. I mean, like
And like
seeing them
also
live
like
is,
Slipknot, like
pretty-
Slipknot fans, like the people who are like hardcore into Slipknot are like the worst.
That's
you know.
true. I mean, I do really like Slipknot, but I mean,
I'm not hardcore into Slipknot, but I think they have some really good songs.
Yeah.
And they're really
You know,
good
the
additions.
thing that annoys me is also that guy can actually sing, which is like
How does that annoy you? That's the best part.
because
like, he
then
has the most fucking amazing
sing,
voice.
Don't fucking like. Oh man, just
I
Don't
I am
yell.
I am intensely jealous of people who can both do growling vocals and can also sing like a motherfucker. And he is one of the
yeah,
two people.
he's
that
one
I
of
am
the
most
very
jealous
few
of.
people that can.
Him
and while
and
No.
Michael Ackerfeld of Opeth. I don't know if you've ever
I don't
heard
know,
any.
I don't know that band.
Okay,
But while
you
we're
should
on the
really listen to some Opeth songs, particularly Porcelain Heart. Like it has both growling and like pure clean vocals, and he is such an amazing singer. And to be able to do both is like, oh man, it makes me angry.
I don't know, like
We'll have that.
growling
It's
for me is a thing. It just seems completely like fake and just unnatural and just like I don't know,
I
doesn't.
I see what you mean, but I think
Jive
there are
with me.
ways of doing it. Like while we're on the subject, have you guys ever heard of the band called Trivium?
Yes, I fucking love
Heard
Trivium.
of them, but
I love Trivium. They're
Okay,
great.
Brad, they fucking suck. That band is garbage.
Have you listened to Shogun?
I don't really think they're doing much anymore, which is good for
What?
humanity.
They released an album a few years ago.
Yeah, but no one gives a fuck about it anymore. It's like- yeah, I don't know. Like for some reason, like maybe it's more the fan base of Trivium, not like I mean like the fucking like emo fucking douchebag fan base. Like, but yeah, like that band pisses me off for some reason. But what were we talking about?
music.
Music.
Let's this is like the most interesting conversation I
Yes,
think we've
just
ever had.
continue. Yeah,
Um,
seriously, like you don't like Rammstein, really? Rammstein are fucking
No, they
good,
just
man.
don't do it.
Yeah, Rammstein are
It doesn't
pretty
help
funny.
that I can't understand, what they're actually.
That's
saying.
yeah, but that's because it's German. Like,
Yes, I know.
Yeah, but they
So,
have
like,
English songs as well, like Pussy. Like, if you don't understand what Pussy is about, I think you've got problems.
That's a pretty good name for a song, I've got to admit.
Do you want-
Maybe-
you know what,
Maybe
John-
John is a virgin, Brad. Don't be so
John?
insensitive.
You should look up the video for Pussy. They
That's
shot a porno.
Um,
They
so
actually
I just
shot
Google
porno.
pussy and see what happens. Sounds like
No,
a fun
but
Yeah.
start.
if
No,
you
do-
watch
do
it,
that.
they
Tell us.
literally
Tell us
shot a
what comes
porno
up.
with all the band members, and they made the guitarist a hermaphrodite.
Uh,
That was the video for Pussy.
Uh,
They are so batshit insane. It's like Deadly Premonition levels of insane, except more adult.
I mean, remember Mudvayne? Remember that whole thing? Remember when we looked up
Yeah,
Mudvayne?
Okay, yeah, they were shit.
Yeah, but they
I think
weren't a
that's-
good
that's
band.
that's
they
the
are like
bad-
hilariously insane, but I would never listen to their music. Just
Yeah, but I think that's the downside to like that sort of era of music. There were so many like fucking jobber, fucking shitty new metal bands that like just cashed in on that phase.
yeah.
I assume you
like-
guys also hate Disturbed.
Yeah.
They like
I-
that one Disturbed song is okay, but other than that, yeah.
They have some
Hate,
really
hate
if you
bands
want,
that have like a gimmick, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was.
I
yeah,
think
that's kind of what I'm getting at as
David
well.
Draymond is it David Draymond? I've probably got that wrong now. The lead singer for Disturbed also has a fantastically interesting voice.
Yeah,
He
does.
sounds like no one else when he's singing, and also it doesn't have any of the growling vocals. If you're not into that, like I understand
Just
people
has
don't
the-
like that. Yeah, that.
That's-
But ignoring the wahs, if you listen to what's the name of it? I'm gonna look up the name of a song in a second because I've totally blanked on it. But they totally have songs that are not even metal, and like when bands can step into other genres competently and produce kind of
That's true. That is
emotional
good.
songs, then it kind of proves to me that they're not a one-trick pony. And I don't think Disturbed are. I think Disturbed
But
get
I mean,
a lot.
it's not that they're not like I obviously the thing is like a lot of these bands I hate like are obviously talented musicians. It's just I hate what they do with the majority of their time and music and stuff. And like I can like recognize like the technical proficiency. I guess it just doesn't. I don't know. There's got to be like a certain honesty, I guess, for me. And like I feel like when people do like growling vocals and stuff, that's just like not. That's just like everyone does that, so we also do that. It's like fair enough, there might have been like one band that did it first and whatever, but like there's so many bands that do it now that it just
problem. Like
it just ruins it for me. Like
I can't.
It's
really...
just not. It's a completely like, unnatural noise for a human being to make, and it's just like it just sounds so.
Off.
If I heard someone do that, I would think they were like mentally like challenged, because that's just not a noise that a normal person would like ever make in like I don't know. Like I can listen to someone like screaming like Dinosaur Jr. like my favorite band, and they have like the bassist is like sort of crazy and weird and like some sort of emotional wreck, and like the songs that he writes, a lot of them involve him sort of screaming, I guess, but it sounds like a person like actually like in like emotional torment. It doesn't sound like someone just like how deep and weird can I make this growl sound, I guess. It's like I don't know, for some reason that just doesn't do it. I mean I know it it's a lot of people like that stuff, and like I'm not trying to say like oh that stuff's wrong, you shouldn't like that. Like it's just it just doesn't do it for me at all. And I don't know.
The song I was thinking of was Darkness by Disturbed, and I posted it in the chat, so you guys should listen to it afterwards. Just to give you another viewpoint on this.
The thing I like about Dinosaur Jr., I guess, and just music that I like in general is like the lead singer is sort of not that great of a singer, and like to me that's like he's like putting it all out there, and like really is like I mean he can sing okay, I guess, and in some of the songs he's quite good, but like the majority like you'd listen and go he's slightly like off key, or he's slightly out of tune or whatever, and it's like I don't know, to me that's him being fully honest with his voice and stuff, and then like their songs, like the stuff that they put in like studio albums, like there's like mistakes, I guess, like not anything crazy, like someone doesn't like forget the song halfway through. I would listen to an album if someone did that, but yeah.
It starts playing the wrong song.
Yeah, it's just like, oh shit, oh bollocks. Like, there's like slight like a chord change that is like slightly off, or like the timing on some of the drumming's like very slightly off, and like it's not something that's like it makes the song unlistenable. It's just like I don't know, it makes me I don't know. It's like honesty, I guess. It's just like this is.
I see what you mean. Like they don't sort of like over edit all their shit.
Yeah, and they don't do stuff for the sake of like, oh, this sounds really wicked cool when I growl really low. It's like, no, this is like actually what I'm feeling, and I don't know. I might be talking absolute shit. I might just sound like a complete dickhead right now, because I find it really hard to talk about music and like be like, I don't know.
It's like impossible to talk about music and not offend somebody.
Yeah, and like when someone goes like, "Oh, what music are you into?" I'd like hate that question so much.
I hate it too, because I like a lot of shit.
And then if I say, "Oh, I like loads of stuff," that also makes me sound like a dickhead. So I just like don't answer. I just go like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I know that feeling.
It is an impossible question. Like that question is easy when you're like 15, because you can just be like,
because you usually like one genre.
Yeah, I like fucking
one
metal, or or whatever. But like when you get like leaving school is the best thing you can do for like music taste, because you actually get some. You don't just sort of fall into a category of,
I guess, and like being away from people and trying to discover music on your own. Like
like some of the stuff, like, I mean, I've found, what's weird, and it's happened quite a bit over the past few years, but like discovering quite a few artists through like trailers and shit. It's like something will have like an interesting song as like a backing piece.
Oh,
of
yeah,
music.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you know,
I find
like,
that
who is
cool.
that? And
Or just like even through like games and stuff.
yeah, like you look up who they are. It's like, oh, like you know, this guy or this band is actually really really good.
Yeah.
Whereas like you don't usually sort of find that stuff out like beforehand. So
Yeah. I think definitely like leaving school for me was like, because I sort of like, I tried like so hard not to listen to what other people listen to that I ended up going like sort of too far in the opposite direction, where I was like, I'd refuse to listen to stuff that other people listen to just out of like, not even out of like I don't like this music, just out of like, oh, I don't want to listen to like what other people listen to.
so you were a hipster.
Not really, because I wasn't listening to like, I don't even know what a hipster was like, 4 years ago, but like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think hipsters listen to like AC/DC, I guess.
Certain
Or-
hipsters would.
Maybe.
Actually, no.
But-
A hipster would just say they listen to AC/DC.
Yeah,
a
I
hipster
guess.
wouldn't actually listen to AC/DC.
Wouldn't that? Yeah. But like, I mean, I do legitimately like AC/DC, but like, and I still
I
do,
really
but, like,
don't. There's something about his voice. I
fucking
can't.
well, there's technically two singers, well, three singers,
Well,
but
yeah.
fuck it, I'm not gonna get in that because
yeah, but like, I know.
This, basically all the albums before Back in Black were the original singer who died, unfortunately, and all that stuff is to me it's that honesty. It's like, it's sort of like naive, just like fuck it, we're like 20, let's just write some really stupid dumb rock songs about like sex and drugs and whatever, and it's like all that stuff's like sort of just, if you listen to it with like keeping that in mind, I think it makes that stuff awesome.
What do
And
you
like
guys
this
think
stuff
is important?
stuff after that's all right, but it's not.
So, what do you guys think is more important, like when it comes to a song, lyrics or the music?
Music. I don't give a fuck what they're saying. In fact, if you want proof that I don't give a fuck what they're saying, what's that song? There's a tree by a river near a hole in the ground where the old man of Aaron goes around and around. What's that song called? Fuck. I'll be back in a second. You guys carry on.
John.
But I mean, like,
something-
like I listen to plenty of stuff that's just instrumental and stuff. So I guess
Yeah, but like sort of as a whole, what do you look for more in a song?
I guess music, because like I like ripping guitar solos and
Yeah.
stuff. So like that's like the one, I guess, thing where it's like, even if the song's not that great, as long as it's got a stupid guitar solo, I'll probably give it a go at least.
Yeah,
So-
I'm the same, but like overall, like lyrics are really important for me.
Have either of you ever
Like
heard
if
of...
a song can have amazing music, but if the lyrics are just a load of bollocks, like I'll just like look for an instrumental.
I've got to
song.
totally side with Brad here, because
There's a song, The Riddle by Nick Kershaw. Neither of you have heard this song.
I think I might have heard of that song.
Okay, well, another thing you should listen to. I'm going to post this in chat as well. Yeah, this song, the lyrics to it, he basically wrote as placeholder lyrics that just held basically the right number of syllables for what he wanted the
Yeah,
lyrics to be, and he was going to go back and rewrite them all. Then he decided he couldn't be asked and just put the song out as it was. And
See, if
all
you're
of the
gonna do
lyrics
that,
are
just do an
total
instrumental.
bullshit. They are all no, because the lyrics make this song. Without the lyrics, this song would sound like crap. But like all the lyrics are nonsense, and it's awesome.
Yeah, lyrics to
Isn't
me
that
are
kind
like,
of
I really don't care what the lyrics actually
Like,
say.
li-
I
like
just,
na-
made lyrics sound like a really important part of what you just said.
I don't know, like
No. I'm talking
lyrics
about the
to me are
melody.
like,
Someone could
just-
hum along a tune to the song, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
give a fuck.
I don't know. I think lyrics are really important. One of the main reasons I cannot fucking stand pop music is because the lyrics are just fucking bollocks. It's all.
I mean, like
same
bad
fucking
lyrics
garbage.
will annoy me, but like
Oh sure.
acceptable lyrics that are just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Oh no,
that's
I
fine.
I don't mean like kind of lyrics that are you don't really. But like you don't know if it's ever happened to you, but you ever been in Asda or something and have like this shitty fucking radio on, and like you just sort of like hear a line in a song and you'd like, holy shit, did I actually just hear that load of shit?
There's
And you Google it and you're like, oh my god, I did, and this is really fucking popular. No wonder, like, the world is a fucked up place.
Yeah,
This
I do
fucking
know what you mean,
bullshit.
actually.
You know what I
There's-
mean?
There was
Yeah.
a section in my university newspaper called Rap Lyric of the Week,
Yeah.
and they just found the dumbest fucking most like nonsensical lyric ever said every week, and it was quite amusing. So yeah, I totally see
Yeah.
what you're getting at now.
That's my one exception when it comes to like rock music. Like lyrics is like
Exactly.
Mm,
Yeah. I mean,
not
that's more
90%,
sort of-
but like
yeah, that's a
it's-
different story, I guess. But
it's a really really integral part of why I like some of that stuff.
and I mean, it's something that can get overlooked a lot of the time because sometimes the vocals aren't like kind of back it up. But like a lot of the like lyrics to things like Slipknot, for example, like their lyrics are actually really really good. Like it's, but like their music is also fucking awesome too. But it's
Slipknot also have a wide variety of very gentle and acoustic and different songs. Have you guys heard of JME?
that rings a bell, but I couldn't really I
Nope.
couldn't say why.
Oh, he has the dumbest rap lyrics ever. Lines like, "I went into Burger King and got a burger." That's like, seriously, his songs are like that
But-
dumb.
Like when it's like that stupid, like it's clearly done on
His
purpose.
favourite
It's done on
line
purpose,
is,
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
me, JME, so shut your mouth.
The
I-
worst are like unintentionally terrible lyrics.
Yeah.
I genuinely think he thinks he's a good rapper.
Or people like trying too hard.
He is
I
like-
mean, like
trying
when
really
I
hard.
can't remember what it was in. I think it was like some interview when Lady Gaga was kind of like almost like a zeitgeist, I guess. But like she was in some interview and she was like basically like pumping up her own lyrics. She was like, "Oh, my lyrics are so fucking awesome." I mean, you look at the lyrics to her songs and it's like, no, they're not. Like they are like really fucking generic, interchangeable pop bullshit. Like there's like aside from maybe one or two lines like in one song out of like fucking 10, like this is bullshit.
yeah.
Like
But I mean,
they're the worst kind of lyrics, like where people think they're really good and it's like no, like a 5-year-old could write a better song.
I guess. I like artists that just say I don't really give a shit about the lyrics. I just write music, and then the lyrics are just sort of, I don't know, they're just sort of there. Like
Yeah, I guess.
good lyrics can like add a lot to a song, but
I mean, I guess it depends on like how you like. I mean, because like lyrics can mean very different things to different people depending on who is listening to the song.
yeah,
I mean, there are definitely songs that are all about the lyrics are obvious. They're not really lyrics. They're just kind of like someone telling a story in the form of music. Like the music is secondary to what they're actually saying.
So music.
This became a music podcast.
This
This
became like, which is really weird considering none of us listen to any sort of modern music really.
I was trying to think of like the most modern artist that I listen to on a regular basis as of now.
I mean, I guess Dinosaur Jr. played at Glastonbury, so they're sort of still relevant. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
it's like who's because like it's weird when you think of because like you can find like a band or something. You're like, oh, these are fairly new, and like you actually look up on them, and it's like, oh no, these have actually been going for ages.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Slipknot are a pretty good example of that, actually. They started in, like, I think 95 or 97,
Yeah.
like, but they didn't really become well known until, like,
Big
mid
until,
2000, like,
yeah,
early
yeah,
mid 2000s.
It's funny listening to bands where the musicians are older than your parents,
Yeah.
like
that's
Dream
weird.
Theater, who have been playing music for onwards of 20-something years.
Then again, I listen to stuff from the 50s, so again.
Yeah,
that's-
but do you see those people play live?
No, they're probably
not.
And go to a gig
I
where
haven't been to it. No, I have not been to a Dave Brubeck
the
gig,
average
although I
age
would
of
like to.
the audience is probably 50.
Yeah. I guess that would be all right because I know they just rail on like gigs and festivals basically. But going somewhere where it's like the fan base is like really dedicated and is just like is quite old, I guess. So they're going to be a bit more not dickheads, I guess. Like that would probably be all right.
When I went to the Dream Theater and Opeth gig, there was like, you know how usually in a gig it gets pretty cramped, like you can get squished quite a lot, especially if like mosh pits and stuff start kicking off. This gig, there was at least a meter between every participant standing in the crowd. You could stand around and spin your arms around and not hit anyone.
Wow.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It was actually really cool. It was so chilled, so laid back. It was
Actually,
really
I went to a Deep Purple gig like ages ago, like with my dad, because I was sort of into Deep Purple a bit. And I sort of still am. They're all right. They're a decent 70s rock band, but or 60s. And there was this fucking woman behind us, and holy shit, she would not shut the fuck up. Like during like all the support acts, just like, "Where's Deep Purple? Where's Deep Purple?" And it was actually, I think it was it Peter Frampton or something? It was like some reasonably like well-known like sort of solo rock artist guy.
Yeah.
I was actually quite into him. I was like, yeah, this guy's all right. And then like this, Jesus Christ, she would not. And she was like, you know, like middle-aged like woman. She wasn't like some kid or something. I was like, what is wrong with you? Can you not
Just turn
wait
around and punch her.
for like half an hour for like the, you know, the people to come on, or just like, I don't know, go and get a drink or go and inject yourself or something.
Or just fuck off.
Yeah, don't just fuck off. That would be nice.
You know, I find that weird because like support bands are like how like some like really big acts have been support bands. Like Slipknot, I think were a support band at one point, and that's like one of the main things that got them noticed. I can't remember what gig. That might have been Ozfest actually. Now that I think about it.
That is like the way to get.
Yeah, but like
Jimi,
that
like Jimi Hendrix supported the Monkees at a point. Like what the fuck's even like? How does that even become a thing?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's just that's just the way to get noticed. I think is just support like I guess get known by a band that I don't know is reasonably big, and then just support them.
Yeah.
Like just
Make
become
friends.
just become friends with like
Indeed. Are we going to keep talking about music? I think at some point.
I mean, we could talk about music forever.
I don't know.
I mean,
We could talk about music for quite some time, I feel.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe there'll be another music cast or something.
Holy shit, we've
okay, here's a final music question. You can only pick one.
Okay.
Worst act fan base.
Justin Bieber fans,
Oh come on, that's way too easy.
but that's true. Like, have you seen them? Like,
I actually I was on my way home from work on Thursday actually, and I remember it because I was immediately like kind of weirded out by it. I was walking behind these two girls that were maybe in their like early 20s, both pretty fucking hot. And you know, just kind of noticed them as you do, and I was like walking past, and like as I walked past them, to kind of overtake them, they both had like I Heart Justin Bieber t-shirts on, and I was like, oh shit. It's just like I really felt weird. I was like maybe they're like 12, and that makes me feel really odd, but no, they weren't. Like they were old. They were older. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, but yeah, that's way too easy, man. Come on. Like
I think I don't know. Like, I can't. Like, did you see all that stuff with like the people like self-harming? There's like this
I
weird
did see that.
Twitter
But
campaign.
actually,
That was really amusing.
is that real or is that just like?
Yeah, that's the
What
only
was it?
thing
It
is,
was like hash cut for Bieber or something stupid
yeah,
like
something
that,
like
wasn't
that.
it? But
What, yeah, no, why were they doing it though?
I can't remember.
I don't give a fuck. But I remember one of my cousins tweeted himself holding a knife and an onion. Stacked up for Bieber.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I
taking the piss
guess.
out
I mean,
of it.
you know though, it's weird, right?
Or like Insane Clown Posse fans, they're pretty terrible. Those
I
guys,
can't actually.
Juggalos, Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Is that not? Okay.
No, it doesn't ring any bells to be honest.
You should type into YouTube Gathering of the Juggalos and
I don't think
yeah.
I want to.
But on the subject of Justin Bieber fans, one thing I find really, really bizarre, and thinking about this past Thursday, I think it was, has reminded me, that's the first time I've ever seen anybody that's like a noticeable Justin Bieber fan. And it like supposedly he's like ridiculously huge, and yet, you know, never really like I
That's
don't
because
know
he's ridiculously
anybody.
huge with 6-year-olds. Like,
Well,
how many children do you talk to on a daily basis?
No,
I
yeah, but
imagine
I mean,
it's
yeah,
not
but-
a lot.
He's got like fucking tweens and shit. Like, I don't.
Yeah, how many of those do you talk to?
Well, I
on
don't
a
talk
daily-
to them, but I know, like, you know, people at work, they've got, like, kids and shit and younger brothers and sisters and stuff like
Have
that.
you ever asked them, are your kids Justin Bieber fans?
Yes, and all of them have said no, because I'm really...
Good on them.
I'm really puzzled by this, because I'm like, exactly who the fuck is buying all this? Like, is it just one dude that's like really obsessed and rich, just buying the album with like billions of fake email addresses? Like, I really am puzzled by this. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't want to understand.
Anyway, Justin Bieber's a good one. Brad, what's yours worst fan base?
All of them.
Every fan base,
Can't pick all of them. Got to pick one.
even the bands that Brad is a fan of, they're all terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with U2. Definitely. Fucking U2 fans.
Aren't we
man.
just choosing the same bands that we shat on earlier?
Yeah, but now we're shitting on their fan base. this
we are
show,
the best podcast.
this show is probably going to get a lot of hateful fly.
Well, I hope people notice it, even if it isn't for the right reason.
But yeah, U2 fans. God damn it, man.
I don't know, like, just fans of bands who just can't accept criticism against the band that they like are
Yeah,
the
if you
worst.
can't accept that U2 is actually hot garbage, then something wrong with you.
I mean, like, but like if someone like says that, no, you're wrong. This band is the greatest. Like that.
Someone bought me a U2 CD once. I don't know how to feel.
I think that person is sending you a very clear message.
They
They
hate
don't
you.
have to be friends.
absolutely
They
hate you.
don't like you.
No, I don't
What
know.
was it? Just out of curiosity.
One of my school friends.
I don't know. You two might have had like two good songs. I don't even know. Like,
It was a best of U2 album, so those songs were on.
That must have been a pretty short listen though.
boom.
That was come on. That was just
Alright.
happening there.
That was a low blow. That was
a
too
cheap
easy.
shot,
No
yeah.
Disturbed did a cover of a U2 song
Really?
once. Yeah, the religious one, was it?
Let's all
They
be
probably
religious
got-
today.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Bloody Sunday.
Nope.
Sunday Bloody Sunday. That's good.
Nope.
That's- I don't know. I don't know.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Um,
I don't know.
I've got no idea. Do you like ironic covers of
No,
songs?
that's the name of the song.
Oh, okay.
The name of the song is
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
that might not be the name of the song. That's like the main lyric of the song.
Oh,
I don't know. Like, yeah, ironic covers of songs, like bands covering songs that they hate. I
Or
think
like the
is
death metal covers of Katy
No,
Perry.
not like that. Like, well, I don't know.
oh man, I fucking hate Katy Perry.
did
Man, there are
death
some really
metal
good
bands do
Katy
that?
Perry. There's a guy on YouTube called like death metal something. He just does.
Yeah,
he calls all
I
his
am
followers
subscribed to a dude
minions.
who does a lot of that stuff.
He calls
does,
all
like,
his followers minions and has like white face paint with like red stripes all over it, and he plays piano really well. And he did a Katy Perry song.
I fucking. Oh, why did you have to bring up Katy Perry? Fucking hell. Ugh. Just fucking ugh.
I think I killed this segment.
Yeah, Brad, what are you doing?
This is the first and last time we will ever talk about music on the Mighty Light
Well,
Box.
yeah, just don't end it with Katy Perry next time.
That's yeah. One thing I still find difficult is discovering new music. That's just
yeah, it's
I don't know. Like I don't know a good way of doing that at all.
Spending a lot of hours with YouTube.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Like whenever someone's like, "Oh, you like this band? You'll probably like these." I always hate them. Like it's almost
that is such a dumb fucking like system. I hate that. Like, oh, you like whatever. You're probably like on what level does that make any sense?
yeah.
Like,
I've never found two bands that were so like similar that it's just impossible like to like one and not like the other. Yeah. Oh God.
Man, I love Sonata Arctica. Have you guys heard of Sonata Arctica?
Nope.
Oh, some fucking musicians.
Okay.
Really good.
Just
reminded me of the time I discovered them. I discovered them by watching a like Final Fantasy anime music video. And I was like, holy
Right.
shit, this song is amazing. Not because I care about Final Fantasy or anime music videos.
it's too late now.
I can't remember.
Now we know the sick truth.
It was just because that was the only upload of that song on YouTube. I think, which was weird.
Anyway,
Should we move on?
Games.
Maybe.
What? Yeah.
let's not spend long on news. Partly because there is none,
like,
and
fuck all.
partly because we have better shit to talk
Why,
about.
why is
clearly.
it whenever we talk about stuff, we always talk about like the stuff we hate about that thing? It's never like, oh, I love this
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
It's
We
always
just
like-
spent,
Because we're
like,
really negative people.
how
I
long did
think
we just
I've-
spend talking about music and how shit it is?
Yeah, like a lot. It's
well
like
over an hour.
Yeah.
Well over an hour.
not enough of that conversation. I really like this artist. Oh, I agree. It's
No, this is shit.
Yeah,
There was a little bit in there.
So what do
Yeah.
we shut
Yeah.
on music festivals, we shut on popular music,
Yeah.
we shut on popular music's fans.
I mean, you guys like Slipknot, but you know, whatever. Like, you guys are idiots, so whatever.
You're just fucking with me.
We shut on John.
Yeah, because
Um,
pussy and he doesn't like fucking metal.
I like metal.
Doesn't like we fucking don't like good metal.
You like Titanium and
I'd like Black Sabbath. Like, fuck you. I like metal.
I like Black Sabbath. I've seen Black Sabbath live.
I have not. I
have.
I feel like I'm. I don't know. They're past the point where seeing them live would be a
I saw
exercise.
them live like 9 years ago, 8
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah. So
Wait. So what the hell? What was the lineup back then? Was that like?
2005, off the top of my head, Black Sabbath were there. The headliners for the 3 days.
No. Like what was the Sabbath lineup? Because was that Ronnie James
gee,
Dio?
right,
or
I see what you mean.
was Ozzy
It was Ozzy.
singing?
What's the guy? What's the fucking guitarist's name?
Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi, yeah. Drummer, Jesus Christ.
Bill Ward.
My memory's not that good.
Bill Ward is the original drummer, but he had a bunch of like issues, like contractual issues and stuff, and
I'd
only-
have to look it up. My memory's just not that good.
and then Geezer Butler on bass, which is the greatest name ever. Like
yeah, that's true.
Geezer Butler, that is like what that's. Oh god, I wish I was called Geezer.
That is true. You could like name your first kid Geezer.
Yeah,
some
Geezer. I don't know, Geezer Watson. Would that work?
That's a pretty good name actually.
Maybe.
Geezer
Yeah, I did.
Watson.
My
That
child
is actually
hate
pretty-
me. For the
That
rest of
makes
their
me
life.
think of like a hustler like working with Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
As a Watson.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got a Victorian
Yeah, that's kind
ring to it.
video game news.
of video
Yeah.
game news.
Okay, let's blast through this because no one cares.
It's summer.
Xbox Live patches are now free. Henceforth, Phil Fish will patch Fez.
Cool.
So,
Here's
if you-
here's like the world's smallest petition. Let's hope that Rage gets fucking fixed then.
You
Yeah,
are the one person
yes,
who
I'm
gives
the
a
one
fuck.
person that would actually.
don't think that's gonna happen, Joe.
I don't
just
even think
the-
anyone knows.
I don't know. Like John Carmack's
You know-
pretty weird, so maybe he would. I
Yeah,
don't-
but like, what Brad just said is actually true. You noticed how like there's not any kind of news about how broken the DLC breaks Rage.
Hmm.
Like that says a lot.
Indicates that no one
Yeah.
bought the
Yeah,
Says
it-
quite a bit about that.
Following John Carmack on Twitter is like surreal. Like
Yeah.
holy
Like-
shit. All he does is like post like weird like technical stuff that just makes no sense.
He retweeted a quote that I actually got once, and I felt smug.
Yeah, he felt entitled. I don't think I've ever understood anything.
But only because I've studied functional programming.
Yeah.
It was
But he just posts the most bizarre shit. It's like
yeah, he comes up with the weirdest ideas. He's like, I wonder if X can be used in X to speed up X, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what any of those things are, but cool.
Just
Then
likes
people
to put
reply.
things out there.
Yeah, he has a lot of ideas, like a lot.
yeah, it's basically like Twitter is just his like sort of
His ideas bank.
it's just like I'm just gonna put this thing out here and like I don't know.
See what people say. Yeah. The joke was immutability is the what's the word I'm looking for? The attribute of functional programmers that means they cannot shut up about functional programming. I thought that was quite funny.
That's all right. I'll-
That is alright. Other people can understand that.
yeah,
That has
normal people,
normal people, not programmers.
not people operating on John Carmack's weird like crazy plane of existence.
He's
other
actually a
plane of
programmer.
existence that he lives on an oblivion plane in real life. Don Matrick has left Microsoft because he said fuck Microsoft like everyone else and thought Zynga was the place to be.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is
wanna add
pretty much
anything?
that news story, though, isn't it?
I mean, I guess the thing to say is like this, all like as far as I can tell, this isn't to do with the Xbox stuff, although it is.
I didn't even put those two things together
Yeah.
in my head. It was just.
I mean, he took a lot of hate, and you know, he took a lot.
That's
of
only because he was like the he was
Backlash.
supposed to be-
Cunt.
yeah, and you know, there's that quote about buying an Xbox 360 if you want to play
That was
offline.
a
It's like
choice.
that's
Yeah, that's kind of.
But like I said before we started, like that just seems like I knew he was on the way out, and he's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just say what I want because it doesn't really matter because I'm about to be the CEO of this other company. Which I mean, Zynga aren't doing that well. They were in a bunch of like legal financial trouble.
But yeah, as
So-
I said on the Bombcast, even if he fails to save Zynga, it will not affect him.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not going to be on
slightest.
his head because
He
that's
can
just-
say it was sinking before he got there, and he
just
tried
the
his
way
best.
it goes in the world.
And if he saves them, he'll be a hero and will
Excellent.
come back and be the CEO of Microsoft.
So yeah,
he's
that
going to bludgeon Bill Gates with an Xbox.
Bill Gates left ages
Like,
ago.
just take over. Did he? Wow, I'm really behind.
He
I mean, he's-
went to go do charity things.
yeah, but he's
And
still
also he's
So yeah, but
giving away.
surely he's like affiliated with Microsoft still.
I don't think he gives a shit. Like
I-
he's
I-
giving away.
Surely not.
He's
Like-
giving away all his money to charity.
well, not all
He
of them.
does.
Well, he has a lot of money. That could take him a while.
Yeah,
So.
He basically there was the whole thing about his kids are gonna see like none of the money he made.
that's
insane.
Oh,
Like,
I bet
I
they're
respect
really
that on, like,
pissed.
one level, but yeah, that is sort of.
Yeah.
I don't
I-
know. Like, I understand the whole like. I don't want my kids to just be like these like slacker, like they just live off my money and don't do anything themselves. Because
Yeah,
And
he
also
is. He is still
like,
part
he's a
of
rich dude.
Microsoft.
If he can help charity, help people,
Yeah.
that's a really cool thing.
You
But-
know, though, like some of like the kind of quotes and stuff like from Bill Gates, like that kind of makes sense actually. I think like some of the notorious quotes from him that get thrown around. He doesn't seem to be like he doesn't seem to be the kind of person that would be content with like his kids just being slackers.
yeah, I bet if his kids like do fuck up though, he's not just gonna be like, oh, you're out on the street, sorry, like.
No.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, he is still at Microsoft, by the way. He is still there.
he is making. I
He's-
guess he's making a gesture by not.
Yeah, he
Fucking
didn't like
kids
resign
slackers.
completely, but he doesn't actually do anything for the company. Is what I understood from when he stood
Well,
there,
yeah.
stood
I mean,
from his head position.
I guess the tech industry has probably moved along so much that he's just completely out of touch, really.
Yeah,
like-
he's not like
like-
actively involved with it. I don't think.
Mm.
Yeah. He might be able to help on like the business side, but I doubt he'll do anything.
He's busy running a charity.
He's
with
not.
his
He's not
wife.
like design. He's not like drawing design documents for the fucking Xbox One or whatever. He's not like, no, they should look like this.
I don't think he's ever.
It's got like it's got like a 6 spoiler on it or something. I don't know. Like,
It's got a
What about-
spindle.
yeah.
He,
I mean, I assume the decision to like get into the games industry was on him.
Mm.
yeah, I guess it was run by him at some point.
They
for
did,
sure.
yeah. I mean, he was pretty prevalent, like in the run up to the first Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Basically, so I guess also we should mention that like Steve Ballmer, the crazy guy. Type in Steve Ballmer on YouTube, you will understand his insanity. Is now like the temporary sort of head of.
I saw a rumor that I can't remember her name, sadly, but there's the speculative next head will be a female. Can't remember her name. Bugger. What was it?
Jalad. Jalad is the new.
It's not
head of-
Jalad.
It's totally Jalad.
Jalad is not female.
That's what you think. Jalad is. What you think.
All right.
Yeah.
The last. Dude, should we move on to the last news story? Are we done
I
with?
guess
that
I don't
now?
know. Like
So,
it's yeah. I really highly suggest that you YouTube Steve Ballmer if you don't know who that guy is because he is like insane. Like I think in like 2000 he did some Microsoft press conference where he just came like running out on stage. He's a pretty big guy, like sort of balding middle-aged guy, pretty big stocky guy, and he like comes like running out. He's like screaming about Microsoft or designers or something, and he's just sweating like profusely. Like I don't know, it's just that guy's weird. He also did a bunch of weird adverts for like Windows XP and stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know. Him running Microsoft just seems like a completely insane decision, but whatever.
Well, not Microsoft.
Oh, sorry, like the
the
Xbox.
game division.
Xbox divisional games division.
I don't even know what is it. Microsoft Games? Is that what they call it? I don't know what they refer to themselves as.
I don't know. Is it not just like the Xbox division? Because
Probably.
like
Like
Microsoft Game
entertainment.
Studios is like the publishing end of stuff.
Yeah, I
but-
just don't know. Yeah, I've never thought about that. long enough.
No,
It doesn't really matter, does it?
no.
In other news, Kickstarter. So Double Fine's first Kickstarter, Broken Age, which reached like 3 million raised, I think it was, something like that, or nearly 3 million. Can't remember. Anyway, their original target being 400,000. Turns out 3 million still wasn't enough. And Tim Schafer's come out and said when they got the extra money, he scaled up his ideas of what he wanted the game to be, and then realized that he had scaled it slightly too large, as he is wont to do. And now, to successfully release the game, it wasn't going to come out within like a reasonable time period, or possibly within budget. So the plan is they've decided that they're going to split the game in half, release half of it a bit earlier, so they can get it out to the backers and the people who don't own the game yet, and sell more copies and make more money, and then finish the second half of the game and release it as a free update to anyone who's already purchased, or it was a backer. That has resulted in the internet throwing a hissy fit as per usual.
Yeah, the internet will throw a hissy fit over fucking anything.
I'll be really surprised.
I don't know. I mean, I think all Kickstarters come with the caveat that there's no guarantee of this product's quality or the fact that it'll even be released to the public. So I think people have been talking about it for a while. Like, when are we going to see the big, the first big failure? And I don't think this is it, and I don't think we'll maybe see that for a while. But I think that is what is needed for people to just stop having this, despite all the warnings, having this sort of unrealistic picture of what Kickstarter does and what sort of guarantees there are, because pretty much there are none at this point. It's just
I think it was on Polygons. Someone wrote a pretty good article of how to be a happy Kickstarter backer.
which is to not just don't.
Thankfully, the last term was don't back Kickstarter projects was the
Yeah.
last piece of advice. He said basically, if you're not happy with all the caveats that come with backing a Kickstarter, just don't fucking back
Totally.
one.
Just,
you idiot.
just don't do it.
Um,
But I
and
mean,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous. I mean, people invest in companies that fail all the time, and you don't see people coming out and going "Oh, this sucks." I
It was a
invested in this.
scam.
I invested in this company.
scammed out of my money.
Yeah, I mean, unless something illegal happened, then you can't really complain when something perfectly legal just
There's a
fails
reason
because
a lot of
business
people
stuff.
aren't in the
Investors
business of
on
investing.
on venture
because they would
capitalists
make
because
bad
yeah,
investment choices in
exactly.
things that are poorly budgeted and won't come out in time or will come out.
and you know
broke.
what? I'm not saying Double Fine have lied about anything, but companies will make themselves seem like the most attractive investment possible, even when they're not. And
It's your job, if you're going to be that investor, to decide whether or not they are actually a good investment.
and also it's impossible to predict a lot of things in the business world, and it probably was impossible for Double Fine to predict that this would happen this way.
Yeah,
and-
that's why people are employed full time as risk assessors
Yeah.
and
Yes.
boring shit like that, because people actually need, people always hate on businessmen and publishers and stuff like that for turning the games industry into a stale business. But this is the reason why, because unless you have those kind of people making those kind of informed decisions based on
It would just
what
be
has happened
it would just
before,
be the
everything will
Wild
fail.
West. It would just be
no one will have any money and no video games will get made.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just the way of the risk of the way marketing products is really risky, that it's only safe to bet on surefire winners.
Yep.
And it sucks.
I mean, it's not that it's. I mean, that is it's only safe to bet big on.
Yes.
If you put a small amount of money in, if you put £5 in, then that's not a mass in the grand scheme of things, that is not a massive loss. But just don't put amounts of money that you just can't afford into something that has no guarantee of ever ever coming to fruition. It's like,
Or if you do want to do that, or even if you want to invest any money at all, be aware of what you're doing.
just invest in
It's
charity.
not even an investment.
Just give it
It's
to
a donut.
charity or something. Just do something where something
Wait until the
cool
product
happen.
comes out before you put money.
I don't
into
tell
it.
people
How
how
about
to spend the money, but don't
Don't be a
freak
fucking
out.
idiot.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't oh man, I don't know. Kickstarter, I appreciate the idea and
On paper, it's like the best idea.
there are
ever.
things that I've looked at that I've been really tempted to kickstart, and
So
it's just
this is a good point of discussion. Have any of you guys actually kickstarted anything?
no.
No,
The
I've never
one thing I was
wanted
really tempted to kickstart is there's an adventure game called The Relic that's being developed in Newcastle, and the setting is post-apocalyptic Newcastle, and I was just like, what,
yeah,
I'd really like to see a game that was set in my home city and has a lot of
I think I remember
landmarks and
seeing the
stuff.
art and stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of that art looked awesome. And that I don't know what is it. I think that game might have got funded. I can't remember. But yeah, stuff like that. That's speaks to me personally. Then yeah, but I don't know.
I've funded one project on Kickstarter. I funded Code Hero, which has also been in the news for bad reasons recently and times before. But I didn't fund it because I wanted the thing that would come out of it that much. I funded it because I wanted to see it get made.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much about basically what Code Hero is. It's a game, I suppose, that teaches you how to program games. And the idea is by the end of it, you'll have enough tools in scripting languages and stuff to be able to produce your own game and then publish it. Not publish it with a publisher, I mean put it on their website or whatever and have something to show for your time playing through that game. And it seemed like a cool visual way, a novel way of teaching people, programming and stuff. It was there's this block in the world, type into the console in the game X+3 and see the thing move sideways. And, just kind of visually teaching people what you can do with code and the power of it. And I thought that was a cool idea. And I thought, what, I will put my money into this to see this become a thing. This seems cool. Not that I might ever use it, because, I've learned programming by other means and I can do simple stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know.
That game, by the way, is called The Realm, not
The
Relic.
Realm. That's it.
Yeah. The art just looks amazing, and it's a point-and-click adventure, which I'm down with and stuff, and obviously set in my hometown and stuff. It's just it seems really. I'm not even sure if it's actually ever going to come out, but that's something I would have funded had I known about it before the Kickstarter had finished. But yeah, you just got to be intelligent with what you fund, and even a company like Double Fine, which obviously released a multitude of games that people really really like. You just any game company can fuck up. It doesn't matter who they are, and they, any business can fuck up. It's just don't have unrealistic expectations, I guess. Kickstarter are very clear that there are no guarantees, and it's a very
Except for
risky
the
prospect.
backer awards.
Well, yeah.
I think those are the only things that they're actually committing to say you'll get something from.
Yeah.
The actual product or whatever they say they're advertising nothing could happen from that.
Yep. So
I just remembered there is actually another Kickstarter I'm probably going to fund when it goes up. I'm speculatively planning to fund a Kickstarter, which probably isn't a great idea. But there's a game I've been following for the longest time. It has the title of biggest vaporware title ever. So it's not a great start, but it's called Infinity Quest for Earth. It's a space-based MMO that had a load of tech demos years ago, which seemed really cool. And the dude who's been working on it took a step away from it for the longest time to work on the engine that he's making so he can sell it and make money or some bullshit like that. But he's planning to kickstart a little demo, effectively, of the combat, just like a multiplayer ship fighting thing in space over the span of a galaxy. And I'll probably back that just in hope that pushes him along to making the full game that I've been following for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Not because I care too much about the actual game that he's going to be putting on Kickstarter.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I'll be interested to play it. But...
Yeah. I saw Phil Fish actually posted something pretty funny on Twitter today about Kickstarter. He was like, has anyone kickstarted a documentary about Kickstarter yet, and like someone actually has. Like someone is trying to kickstart a documentary about Kickstarter, which is just fucking ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, the Realm is still in development. The last post on the Twitter thing was like the 22nd of May, just saying like keep tuned for stuff like later in the year. So I don't know. It got funded, so hopefully it's happening. I would want to see that game come out, but yeah. Kickstarter, I guess. That's a thing. It's not like they're demanding more money from,
No.
from they're not doing another Kickstarter to like fund the second half of this game. It's just,
which they could do. There's nothing stopping them.
but yeah, that would
Except for
probably
public outcry. Oh no.
yeah. Oh.
Anyway,
if there's no more news, which is there?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that Hideo Kojima, the mastermind behind the Metal Gear series, is like fucking in love with Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Holy shit! Like, let's get a few choice quotes from his Twitter. This film is not simply a film to be respected, but most importantly, it let us dream the future of entertainment movies.
what?
I hope you would accept this inspirational love letter that had traveled across the Pacific, written by director Guillermo del Toro. The emotional rush I had inside me was the same kind I had when I felt the outer space via 2001: A Space Odyssey. I have never imagined that I'd be fortunate enough to see a film like this in my life. So
he's kind of up on Pacific Rim.
yeah, I think he likes that
likes
movie.
big robots.
Kanye West said it's easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
Maybe I'll see it then.
I don't like. Yeah, like I. everything I saw that
like
looked
they
like-
named their fucking kid Northwest. You guys hear about that?
Yeah, that's
Oh man,
Kanye West is just.
God, I feel sorry for that child.
It's a
Like-
great name. It's fucking heroic. And then they can have a girl and call her Southwest. And it'll be awesome.
No, if there's a fucking god, they will not have any more children. It's
And
a
then
terrible
when
fate
then
for
they
a child.
can have another child and call him Northwest
And then have another one and just go the whole way and call it North by Northwest.
or South by Southwest.
I don't know. Like Northwest is like that'll be a pretty
Such a
sick
good
like
name. Oh my
1950s
God.
detective.
I would love to be
West.
called Northwest.
I-
Imagine how awesome that would
I
be.
seriously don't think you
North-
would. I think
Northwest.
like after a week it would wear off. And you'd be like, yeah, my name fucking sucks.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be down for that.
I would just be called Wild. That would be pretty good. There was so much potential for that name.
That's true.
Um,
Have you guys seen Wild Wild West?
it's not like the terrible Will Smith movie.
I haven't seen it in God knows how many years. I remember when I saw it, I didn't think it was terrible, but didn't really think much of it. But
I don't know. Like whenever I hear
it is that, you know, it has got that reputation as like
yeah.
absolute abomination. Of
That like whenever I hear that movie mentioned, it's always in like a deriding tone. It's like, oh, Wild Wild West. Like, I don't know. People don't seem to like that movie.
has giant like robot spider
That's all right, I guess. That sounds.
with machine guns on it. Rocket launchers.
And people say this movie's bad. Like,
I
what?
know.
Did they see the giant?
It has
spider?
also has what's the name in it? Salma Hayek in like really revealing clothing. So, I mean, those two things together can't be a bad
Is
film.
is she riding this giant spider?
No, that would be weird.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's one hell of a fetish.
that's the only way I can get off Salma Hayek riding a giant
Sounds like-
mechanical.
To be
Spider.
honest, she could probably make anything look sexy. So, you know, yeah, whatever.
Sounds like Queelag.
Queelag. Fuck Queelag.
You know, I don't know if you saw Rory come on and play Dark Souls during the Giant Bomb Community.
No, I
Challenge.
did. I was trying to get his. He was doing it on his own personal Twitch, wasn't he?
No, he came on and streamed on the main.
Oh,
channel.
on the main. Oh,
He has been doing on his own stream.
yeah.
from
I've been
time, but
watching his own stuff, but like I couldn't like I knew he went on the community endurance run. I just never actually saw it.
All right, it was really good. He because he's actually pretty much in the exact same spot of the game where I am, which was kind of amusing. And so he just got the Lord Vessel. If you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Compared, yeah.
Yeah.
So he just got the Lord Vessel. Went back to the dude with the serpent teeth person. Can't remember his name. Plonked that down.
Kingseeker Frampt.
Kingseeker Frampt. Yeah, I love Frampt. Frampt's hilarious. And he did the exact same thing as well of plonking down the Lord Vessel and then saying, "Holy fuck! I was carrying that in my pocket." Like that, I said the exact same thing when I saw that. It's like, how did I? Okay, whatever game, not a problem. Then he went and killed Sif, which was funny because Sif is a dog, well, a wolf, but basically a dog.
Is he like emotionally?
Yeah, we were all
double
taking
pop.
the piss in chat, and he was like, "It's okay, it was self-defense, guys."
So did you never finish Dark Souls then?
No, I placed the Lord Vessel down and killed Sif.
I mustn't have.
And then stopped.
You mustn't have been on when I was talking about Dark Souls then, because
I was.
Were you?
Yeah, I was totally here.
Oh, okay. I just can't remember ever like talking to you about Dark Souls.
I can't remember if I mentioned that I had actually not finished it. I just talked to you about the mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he went to the Painted World and did the whole of that on the stream.
He did cool. That sounds like he did quite a lot of stuff on that. How long was he on?
Like 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 2 hours.
Huh.
I don't think it went for 4.
Yeah, his journey through Dark Souls has been fucking hilarious. Like,
yeah, there was one bit where he died and then just laughed for like 5 minutes.
There's a lot of that. Like the one is that he got eaten by one of the mimics in Anor Londo.
I saw that video.
Jesus Christ, that stuff's I just like whenever he knocks someone off an edge and just like sits there for like a minute laughing. It's like no matter how many times he does it, he's just like.
He seems to have more fun with Dark Souls than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think it's like I don't know. Like when he's laughing, it's like it's almost sort of manic. Like
it's like a coping mecanism.
He's on the edge of like just go, oh fuck this game, but it's like he just laughs it off.
He does get angry sometimes as well. It's like he still gets pissed off like everyone, but he just takes it so much better.
But when because when he gets angry, it's just him swearing, but in like a normal
in a normal voice.
It's just
he's
like
not actually angry.
Fuck shit, wank, cock. But it doesn't actually like he's not like raging. He's just sort of like saying swear words. Yeah.
If I can find a video of his section, I'll send it to you because it's worth watching.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch that because that stuff's entertaining.
It made me want to go and watch the rest of him play.
Yeah, the battle with Quay, like where he like ends up on like 1 health and then like wins is amazing.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Because he thinks he's dead because obviously it's like so hard to. Yeah. Fucking. Oh, Matt Rory.
Well,
so
I won't tell you what he does at the end of the.
Yeah. Oh my god, the fucking like the last couple of weeks of like Giant Bomb stuff has been like fucking Unprofessional Fridays with fucking Spycraft has been top notch. They are back on form. Holy shit. Yeah. Anyway, end of podcast.
Unless you
pretty
want
much.
to talk
Apart from
let's talk about music for like another 2 hours.
All music is shit.
I'm done with music. Let's talk about Game of Thrones.
So Brad, you finished book 5.
I finished book 5 and I finished season 3. So
cool.
We're good to go on both fronts.
Hang on, let me just timestamp like the official end of.
We're not including this stuff.
Oh no,
I'm not.
I'm not gonna like cut this off. It's just if people want to know when the end of the podcast is.
That's a good point.
It's now.
It's now. The time is now, guys.
Yes, the end of talking about games.
Game
of Thrones.
So in book 5 part 2, was there just a point where he was just like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna kill everyone, and then
I guess
this was like YOLO, really.
What?
I like saying YOLO.
Get the fuck off this podcast.
I like saying YOLO to piss
Holy shit, just end this shit.
I think what John's trying to say is you're fired,
Piece
Brad.
of fucking shit. Oh my god.
So, like, a multitude of things happen near the end. You don't know whether Theon is okay, because he just jumps off the fucking wall of the castle with What's her name?
Jane Westerling, is it?
Jane Westerling.
No,
that's
Jane
it.
Poole.
Jane Poole.
Westerling
Jane Poole.
is,
Yeah.
Oh, that's confusing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jane Westerling is Rob's wife in the book, right? Is that the character's name, or am I thinking of someone
Did
different?
they change it?
There's a
in the
lot
TV?
of fucking characters to keep track of at this point.
Yes, I think you're
I
right.
swear, Jane Westerling is his wife in the book. Jane Poole is the like the girl from Winterfell that is the being passed off as Arya in the
Mhm.
book. That right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah, so there's that, and then who's the next person that is? Well, you don't for a long time you don't know whether Daenerys is okay or not, but you assume she is. I mean, I did.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, I never thought that she.
Yeah, and then what the fuck happened with her? She was just like walking back, nearly dead, and then was like, "I need to go back," and then rides her dragon back, and then I was really confused about that.
Oh God, who? There's a thing I forgot to mention when we talked about originally is it calls the place where the dragon is Dragonstone, but it's not the
No, that's-
Dragonstone.
yeah,
No,
it's just the
that was
name.
just her word for it.
Yeah, but it's like it's all. I'm sure it's capitalized as well. It's like
Yeah, I think she names it after Dragonstone.
Yeah,
you,
she does.
you can't do that, and you're like you can't double name. Oh God, it's so.
But
fucking
she's never
confusing.
been to Dragonstone, so she was like, "I'm gonna."
But I
call
was
it
like, what?
my
Is she like
Dragonstone."
flown across to Westeros? Like what the?
Okay.
I still don't think she's ever gonna get there.
No, but when she was on that walk, she
really-
finally realized how much of a massive spastic she is. Like she was on that walk and she was like dying, and she was like, "Holy shit, I've wasted so much fucking time." I was like, "Yes, yes, you
Yes,
have,
you have.
you cretin! Oh my god, are you
You've
finally
wasted,
gonna
like-
do something useful with your life?"
Yeah, she wastes like half this book fucking Dario, and then it's like, oh yeah, you know, fucking. Oh man, this could take a while. We've got a lot of shit to cover, but
Fuck Daenerys, yeah.
I mean,
really hope she
I've
gets
said
her act
this to
together.
some of the people, and they think I'm crazy, but I think she's gonna like die pretty early on in the next book. I don't
I
think there's any fucking way.
Gets to Westeros and immediately is like hit by an arrow and dies.
Either she gets there and like she gets fucked over or
Yeah.
killed, but like I don't think she's even gonna get there. I really don't.
Did you read the epilogue as well? With,
Yeah, I did.
Varys killing. What's his,
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was like
That
the
was
one bit of that.
Oh, what's his
the,
name?
the bit where he was like, "You've been messing up all the good work Cersei was doing." I was like, "Cersei's been a moron. What has she been?" It's like,
I
"Oh
no,
shit." He's
I mean,
on the side of the other Targaryen. Can't remember
Yeah,
his
he
name.
is.
Aegon.
Yeah, and
I was like,
oh,
damn.
what's his name? What's the fucking Pycelle? Oh man.
Oh
God,
yeah,
he gets-
Pycelle eats one at last
he
as well.
finally gets his fucking comeuppance. That motherfucker. Fuck that
wait,
dude.
what? Wait,
Grandmaster Pycelle, he gets these, like, he looks over and he's got like an axe in his fucking head. Is it his head or is it his?
I can't remember. He
oh
gets-
shit, yeah, I can't. It's been.
Yeah, that mother. Oh, that was such a good
God,
bit.
Pycelle.
I really
Pycelle
like
isn't even that bad in the books. In the fucking series, though, it's such a. dick.
Yeah, in the series he's made out maybe a bit worse.
Well,
I don't know.
Tyrion-
Like, I think in the
Tyrion-
series they didn't like emasculate him enough when Tyrion like the
Chopped
whole
off
thing when
his-
Tyrion chops off
yeah.
his beard like that.
in
I
the
know, in
book,
the-
that was like, "Oh damn!" And then in the TV show, it was just like, "Now he just
Just
looks
so-
like
yeah, now he's just growing his beard back and
an old
Yeah,
man."
that's true.
Yeah.
I do really like Varys though. He's one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters.
yeah,
He's-
Varys is fucking rad.
This is
Man.
pretty awesome. Yeah, also, Quentin Martell was the most pointless character ever. What,
Oh
what
yeah.
was the point of him even being in the fucking book?
He was the character where it's like, man, I need a dragon to like set a dude on fire. Oh yeah, you'll do.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has got to go down in history as one of the dumbest things ever, just ever done.
What, like him just like walking up to the
Yeah,
dragon,
just
and
him-
expecting them
yeah.
to like.
Where does he
But-
conclude that would work? Where does he get the
He
idea?
saw Daenerys do it. I don't know.
Yeah, like it seems to be like, oh, these dragons will
To be
listen
fair,
to me because
It wasn't totally his fault because
Sure.
A, they were basically feral at that point. B, one of the people he was stupid enough to shoot it with a crossbow.
true.
And C, he had a whip. I don't know.
True.
He wasn't setting himself up well. Let's just
But
say
I mean
that.
that bit like
I don't
because
know.
the way it ends in the book, it's like, oh, he looks down and he was a flame, and it's
Yeah.
like ends, and it's like
Yeah, it was like, oh, he might be okay
I didn't
if he's
see-
like Daenerys,
It's
sure, maybe.
it's like no, he's completely fucked, and like with
Yeah.
like the later
Sorry.
chapters, yeah, like when you hear what actually happens to him, it's like, wow, dude, this guy's like,
Yeah. Why would they not just like euthanize him? Like they let him live till he died.
Yeah.
Like, did they really think at any point he was going to recover from that and it would be worthwhile? Like he
Oh,
had
it
no
would be
skin.
fine. It's just a bit
His face was
scorched.
burnt down to his skull, and they were like,
so
"Ah,
his
we won't
eyes
kill
are
him."
melting. Oh, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
You know,
you
give
would
him a good
definitely
night's sleep.
like they gave him like milk of the poppy. You would just slit his throat, like
Yeah,
no
well, you
joke.
just, it's like cut his head off or something.
Well, yeah.
I still,
don't-
I think slitting the throat is probably a pretty painful way to go.
No, you just drown.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
think drowning
obviously it's
is.
painful, but I mean, if you have no skin, like I can't imagine it'd be much more painful.
Yeah,
than
but
that.
like, having your head cut off is, pretty direct. So, yep, you got no head.
True, but you also need someone who is quite good at chopping off heads, because I don't know if you remember when Theon tried to do it, and it took him like 14
True.
attempts to hack that dude's head off.
I don't think it was 14, but
Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot.
yeah, I think it was more like 4.
I'm sure they could have found a way to painlessly kill him.
Yeah, I think that's what I've. Yeah, like the whole being stabbed thing. It's like you don't die from the stabbing necessarily. You die from drowning on your own blood. Doesn't sound particularly fun.
Yeah,
No,
No, I could
Not
do without
something I
that. To be
wanna do.
honest. No, I'll pass on that one. Okay, so who else bites the bullet at the end?
well, there's the big kind of question as to who maybe bites the bullet at the end.
I can't remember. I've actually.
Jon Snow.
Oh yeah. That was it. Jon Snow. After who was it that he? There was a bit before that as well. I think. Wasn't there? Oh yeah,
there was
Stannis is apparently dead.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he gets the letter from Ramsay.
I'm still not sure whether or not to believe that.
nah, that's
Nah,
gotta
that's
be
bullshit.
that's horseshit.
It's
Yeah,
gotta be,
that's-
but
No, because isn't Theon's chapters like with?
I haven't read Theon's bit yet.
Oh, okay. Well, spoilers.
Okay, well, I
mega,
will
mega
read
spoilers.
that. It's cool if Stannis is alive. I wasn't.
Oh, I assume he is, but I don't know.
Because
Um,
Theon and that lot escape, and then Stannis was nowhere near though. He was. Oh no, yeah, you're right. Theon gets taken back to Stannis. You're totally right in one of the earlier chapters, because he like turns up with Asha Greyjoy,
Yeah.
the girl, and like she's like, oh my god, it's Theon, like because he's all fucked up and can barely recognize him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one thing I was wondering about because I
Oh.
saw the series like a few weeks after I'd finished book 5. Is it explicit that Theon gets his knob chopped off in the books?
It's not. No, it's just
No.
kind of alluded to.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not actually. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because when
in
he
a
was
box.
in when he was in the castle, the Winterfell,
Hmm.
he kept on turning down those.
Yeah, I suppose. I always thought that was just him being weird and
Yeah, it could be either. I don't know which way
Greek-esque,
to.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I said that's sort of weird because isn't that sort of Theon's whole thing? Like before he got like captured by Ramsay, he was
he
this
would-
sort of like philandering, just go around, shag anything that moves sort of
Yeah.
dude. Now he is incapable, I guess, of that.
Mhm.
I do think it was rather unnecessary in the TV show of them to labour on the torture scenes so much.
Yeah, they did.
I don't like that
Even
they
that
really
bit.
showed that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
like the
a
book
lot of
left
people.
it out because it just wasn't necessary.
Well, I don't think it didn't leave it out. It's told more through like. It's told more through his memory and his like kind
Yeah.
of.
It's told through his reaction to
Yeah.
it a few months on after having been subjected to that for so
Yeah,
long. Like, you
it-
see what he's become, and you're like, holy
Yeah,
shit! he
it's
must
more
have
than
been-
enough. Whereas in the show, it's like, hey, here's
Here's
use
exactly what
finger.
happens.
Yeah,
Yay,
exactly. Yeah,
Yay.
like, here's
Watch him
exactly
get
what
his
happens,
finger
bit by bit.
flayed. Yay.
and,
Yeah, I don't know.
although I will say, like, show Ramsay is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That actor.
Yeah, he's
is
a good.
really
badass.
I was like, yeah, because that
nailing that part.
guy in the character he plays in Misfits, which is like the only other thing I know him from, is like this sort of meek, nerdy like guy who I don't know. I just didn't think it was going to work, and I was actually ended up. He sort of plays on the other aspect of being like weird, but of like not being like shy and like antisocial. He's like just sort of completely fucked up, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I think he does pretty well. That was some inspired casting, I think. I was sort of a bit disappointed that they didn't do much with Davos after he gets freed by that big fat dude in
Oh yeah,
White
they didn't
Harbor.
go back to that, did they?
Like he just sort
No,
of
they didn't.
that just sort of happens and then doesn't
What was his job?
go
His
anywhere.
job was to go find one of the Starks, wasn't it?
Something like that. I don't
He
know.
had to find Aya or
Oh yeah.
I can't
Oh.
say that word. I actually
Oh,
can't
yeah.
say that word.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what he was doing. Maybe I can't remember now. Actually.
Yeah, I've got
Pretty
no
sure that
idea
was-
what he
I'm
was
pretty
told.
sure that guy was like, you know where they are or something. You should go. Oh no, he thought he had Reek. That was it, wasn't it?
I actually can't remember.
That dude had some prisoner who couldn't talk. It wasn't Reek. He had some prisoner who couldn't talk, and he was like, this guy knows where one of the Stark girls is. You need to go collect her for us.
Mm,
And then nothing happened.
yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, that sounds about right though, to be honest. Speaking of Stark girls, let's talk about the worst character in the whole fucking thing.
Oh wait, that's
Sansa.
American. That's fine. What? Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, like what do you think of like?
Wasn't she gonna get married to someone really great or something? That was what Littlefinger promised her.
But
Wasn't it like something?
Littlefinger was like, "I'm gonna become Lord of the Vale and
yeah,
get
'cause-
married to some really handsome prince." Hooray!
Yeah. And like Littlefinger's like slowly poisoning what's his face, isn't he? Is it Robin?
Rob
Is it
Aaron?
Robin Aaron?
No, can't be.
Lisa Aaron's kid, you know, the
Yes, I know who you mean.
yeah. But isn't he like slowly poisoning him? It's
Can't
pretty-
remember if that was what he implied.
it's not explicitly, told, but it is.
He definitely implied he was planning on getting rid of him. That was for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, he really.
Or he
does.
was gonna boom out a window. I can't remember.
Okay, so I looked it up and Davos was told to get Rickon
Rickon, that was it.
from
that's it. Yeah.
from some
Yeah.
island.
And who was with like a mute or something? I can't remember.
Wex Pike.
Was that his name? Well, I don't think it ever said his name in the book.
Well, yeah, he's bastard son of Sargon Botley. He's the squire of Theon Greyjoy. He's 12 years old and was born a mute.
Oh,
So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because Rickon's been off with Osha or whatever it was for ages.
Hmm.
Shaggy Dog. Man, Shaggy Dog is a fucking... I want to kill Rickon. How'd you get a direwolf and call it Shaggy Dog?
Yeah, that is a really.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
So
know.
this
Summer's
Wex-
kind of a lame name too.
yeah. Yeah, all the I don't know. Most of those.
Grey
Grey Wind.
Ghost,
Badass.
Ghost is pretty
Ghost.
good, I guess.
Ghost is pretty good.
But
Yeah, Ghost and Grey Wind are pretty badass.
What was the other
So-
one? Like My Lady or something?
Sansa's was Lady. Arya's was
Nymeria.
Nymeria. And yeah,
Yeah,
Bran's is-
Nymeria wasn't bad.
that's like an old reference though, isn't it? It's like a
Yeah, it was
Somebody,
Queen
woman.
or something, I think.
basically like Xena of fucking Westeros or something.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the show Xena?
No.
Was that
You
a
mean
bit?
Xena Warrior Princess?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that a bit too old.
Nope.
I don't think it is, but I can't remember when that was on TV.
My only exposure to Xena was that dumb episode, Halloween episode of The Simpsons where Xena can fly.
I think, yeah,
So that's a no. You guys didn't watch Xena. Okay.
didn't watch Xena.
Just
So it's pretty good though. That's probably one of the funniest episodes of The Simpsons. Just gonna put that out there. Anyway.
What were you saying, John, about that? You were reading something else on the wiki?
Oh yeah, that Wex Pike was like at the sack of Winterfell when Ramsay like fucked it all up because he was Theon's squire, but he like
Yeah.
hit up a tree or something, and that's how he knows that like Rickon's still alive.
It's weird that the other Reek wasn't in the TV show as well. So, like, when Ramsay decides to call Reek, he was
just-
like, "Yo, I'm just gonna call you Reek."
I mean,
For no
all
apparent
all
reason.
that Reek stuff in the books is like there were like 3 different characters are referred to as Reek, and then and there's all the stupid stuff where it's like Reek rhymes with leak, Reek rhymes with whatever, like all that stuff. That stuff was like the worst written stuff. ever.
I agree with John on that. To be honest, I thought that stuff was pretty bad.
Fair enough.
Like, I understand that guy being like, obviously fucking mentally scarred from all the torture and stuff, but I don't know, it just didn't seem to be written that well. But whatever.
What do you think of Tyrion?
I like the
Transcription.
Tyrion character arc. I think makes perfect sense, really, that he's like, because he's never been put like, he's always been like almost an anti-hero kind of thing, whereas now like enough stuff has happened to him where it's like, now fuck this shit, like, just fuck everything. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of makes sense, really, considering what has happened to him.
Yeah.
I really like where they're taking Tyrion. My main concern for Tyrion is that the show is not gonna kind of portray him as like nasty, I guess, as he is at this point, because he is like one of, if not the most like liked character in the show.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And I doubt they're gonna make, because like he's not really likable at the. I mean, he's not really likable anyway, but like post, book
Shooting his
5.
father.
Well, I mean, yeah, he kind of had a reason to. But yeah, like post book 5, it's like, no, like this guy's out for fucking blood, like for
Yeah.
everybody.
The only thing I dislike about Tyrion is when he lied to Jaime, who actually genuinely liked him. That was kind of a dick move. But then again, what Jaime told him was kind of dickish as well. But
True, yeah. Jaime is like the only, bar Tyrion, he's like the only likable Lannister, I guess. Post his hand getting cut off.
Jaime, like, especially now he's like buggered off and stopped following Cersei around like a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he's probably like
Yes.
one of the better characters.
Yeah, definitely like
And
that.
like he has an interesting backstory with the whole, the Kingslayer thing, and
Yeah.
like, especially I think as other people have said, the TV scene, the bath scene, was done really well. With
Yeah, it
his
was.
relapse into explaining, why he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
I think it's almost like indicative of like how little really happens in book 5 that we haven't been able to talk about it that much. I just feel like
I mean, there's probably, to be honest, I mean, like, there's probably a lot we're
there's stuff we're forgetting, I guess, but
talking about. Yeah,
still
I mean,
just feels like
Brad, do you think Jon is dead? I think that's kind of my main question.
He got stabbed 4 times.
So,
I've been stabbed 4 times.
dude could be alive.
I haven't actually been stabbed 4 times, so that's a lie.
Yeah, he could be alive. I don't know.
It
Doesn't make sense because of if anything, worst case scenario, if he did die, I'm sure Melisandre will do something about that.
Yeah, but I
Because
think
she seemed quite interested in him.
yeah,
if you know what I
she
mean.
did. There's other theories on that, but we'll get into that later. But I think like that is kind of lazy. Like if she's just like, oh no, he's alive now, there's no harm, no foul. Like,
Man. That reminds me of the really weird scene where Melisandre in the TV show where Melisandre turns up at the camp with where Arya was at the time.
yeah, they take
And she meets Thoros, and she's all like, how'd you have this power? This isn't right, or some bullshit like that. That was really weird.
There's some questionable stuff in the show, like in season 3.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that I think they really did well. I thought the Red Wedding was done incredibly well in the show.
Yeah.
But like, there's definitely some stuff that I think they kind of dropped the ball on, to be honest. I think the Daenerys stuff in the show has been pretty bad. Across the board.
Yeah, but her stuff is bad in the book as well, so it's not exactly their fault.
I guess. I mean, there's some
Like they did the bit where like most of all the important stuff they did right, and now I think they skipped out one of the cities, didn't they? They skipped out Yunkai. They just went straight from Astapor to Marine.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, sorry. I think they're doing Astapor as Marine.
Yeah, they're not going to do. I think that's.
They're not doing all 3
so.
cities. They skipped one of them for sure. I know that much. There was nothing in book 5 about zombie Caitlyn.
No, I was
No.
disappointed at that. I was hoping we'd see some development on that front. I mean, there is. I can't remember whenabouts in the book it happens, but when you find out Jamie has gone with Brienne, or is that in
Yes,
before?
yeah. That's as close as you get.
Yeah,
That
that's as
was-
close as you get. Like, so maybe there's something there. Like if Jamie like full on like turns turn sides, I think that could be pretty interesting. But I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I feel like at this point, I feel like there is so many loose ends.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the first like 500 pages of the next book just need to be this shit. Like certain stuff just.
You know he's not gonna
wrapped
get it all
up.
out the way.
Nah, true.
He's gonna pad it out with more loose ends first. and
I
then
got a question.
Scrabble. That's probably why he hasn't finished the sodding book yet. Is because he started off and didn't wrap up what he'd already started,
Yeah.
then added more, and then went shit. I've got like one book left after this. What am I even doing? I've got to suddenly sort this out.
I've got a question for you guys about Jon Snow. Leads into what you said earlier, Brad, about Melisandre being interested in him. Who do you think his parents are?
Oh, didn't they? I remember reading something and thinking
Yeah, there's
they knew who
there's
his mum was at one
a
point.
lot of stuff
There's
on
a lot
the
of-
internet.
This is something
About-
that I've only really recently discovered, but yeah, there's a lot of theories on who Jon Snow's real parents are.
Yeah, there's something that he's like half Stark, half Targaryen or something.
Yeah, that's Rhaegar and Lyanna. That
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's their
And
child.
so Ned was just sort of well, he was his uncle, but he like obviously pretended that
Yeah.
he was his son,
Which,
just
like,
so he
think,
wouldn't get murderized.
I remember when I first heard that, I was like, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then I kind of thought about it a bit more. Like, you think of Ned's character, and it's like, would Ned's character really, like,
Yeah,
have an affair?
it does like make a lot
That
of sense.
doesn't
in
Yeah,
many
because there
ways.
was all that stuff
Like-
about Rhaegar being interested in that Stark. You're right.
Yeah, and like
I that's a pretty likely.
there's a lot of weird like symbolism stuff to do with him and dragons and stuff that's been mentioned, and like I don't know, like it would totally make sense if that was the case. Yeah, that would, I guess that would probably like make the most sense in terms of like where the sort of end game of this whole thing is going, because like having like another Targaryen in the mix with like
That would make
Daenerys.
3 Targaryens and then 3 dragons and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever the like, what's the other Targaryen called?
Aegon.
Aegon, yes. So yeah, having like those 3 is like, I don't know. I can see like Jon getting it on with Daenerys or something. I don't know, something weird. And then him discovering that he's a Targaryen or something. I don't know. And then
Yeah,
just-
like maybe they like fucking fire or something, and he's like, "Oh look, I'm not getting burned" or something. I don't know.
oh god, I'm on fire. Oh
Yeah,
God.
well, that could go really poorly.
Then it plays that
Then his eyes
on
melt.
song, and then like it just ends. Yeah.
Huh, I hadn't thought about that.
It feels like I feel like we're missing some important stuff. What have we not talked about?
Stannis stood in the snow for a while,
Oh yeah.
just sort of scratching his arse.
Um,
Do you guys feel that like Winter's still got a lot to live up to in general in this?
I guess.
but it's coming.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's coming, and yet they're already in like
Actually,
fucking
by the end of the book,
30-foot snow.
it's here at the end of the book. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's just yeah. So like, how much worse is it gonna get? It seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it always does.
I
seem
don't
a bit-
understand how they could ever possibly survive a multi-year long winter.
Yeah, it doesn't really
At
make
what point
any
do you not run out of food?
effing sense.
Yeah,
Like,
that's one of the things I'm kind of interested in the next book. Is
But the
like,
books won't go on long enough to explore.
like why don't they all just go across the fucking narrow sea and go to the place where it's like hot? Like,
because that would be convenient. But I think it's mentioned in the first book. But what's like the longest record winter on record? Was it 9
it's like
years? Seems to
yeah, something like 7 years, something ridiculous.
Yeah. So if kind of the weather at the end of the fifth book is sort of the beginning of it, that's like the the nose end. What's the fucking like tail end of it going to be like? It seems just kind of crazy to
Everyone is dead.
Mm.
I remember that scene in. I'm not sure if it's in the book as similar, but there's a scene in season 1 where Bran's in bed, like after Jamie threw him out the window. And there's like there's Nan like knitting and telling the story, and she's saying about winter and shit, and she actually says like the what is it, like theories for the winter when the snows fall 100 feet deep. Maybe she's like being quite literal with that. Like maybe that is like how bad it gets.
But that's ridiculous.
But I mean, yeah, but that is absolutely ridiculous. Like that everybody would just be dead. Like, but it seems like if fucking like 20-30 foot snow is like the beginning of winter. It's like surely it's only going to get worse. I don't know. Like winter has got like a weird. Like I really am interested to see what it's like in the next book. It's got a lot to live up to, in my opinion, because it's been being built up for like 5 books at this point. Like how bad winter is and how fucked we are basically.
Yeah, and isn't the whole thing like the whole like myth is that like the longer the summer, like the longer the winter, and the like just came off like the longest summer of all time.
And of
something.
course,
Like,
with winter being there, like that allows the White Walkers to be like, "Yo, what's up, bitches?" Like,
indeed.
Yeah.
Because that's something that really annoyed me throughout the 5th book, actually. And I mentioned to John when we talked about it, but I don't know if you thought about it, Brad. Like, it really annoyed me that like John seems to be the only one that understands like that threat. It's like when he's like talking about getting the wildlings like south of the wall, he seems to be the only one that's like, yeah, because if we don't, like, there's going to be thousands and thousands of them, like, coming for us, like, because they just they kill everything and then they're like undead, they're like the zombie whatever.
Yeah, you would have thought like the people who survived alongside him north of the war and made it back would be a bit more worried about it.
Yeah, but he's the only one that's like, yo, this is a problem.
I think it's pointing out. I think what he's trying to point out is the fact that so many people in the Night's Watch hate the wildlings so much because the White Walkers haven't been around so long. They think of the wildlings as more of a threat. I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. They think of them as like the worst thing.
They are
the
the enemy.
like, no.
If there was to be an enemy, it would be the wildlings, and so
Yeah.
they're too busy rebelling about that to think logically about the White Walker stuff. But that actually brings up a relevant point in the last episode that I thought was really interesting. Was the bit where a lot of people chat all over the Stannis for the scene where he sentences Davos to death. And then Melisandre looks into her fire and then is like, well, Melisandre basically makes him sentence Davos to death. Then she looks into her fire after burning that letter and then is like, oh, wait, Davos should live. And then Stannis is like, okay, now you live. And a lot of people were like shitting on Stannis for being weak and whatever. But that scene is interesting to me because that was something that wasn't in the book. The part where Davos presents that letter to Stannis. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
in the book, he gets the letter, reads it, goes, "Oh shit, I need to tell Stannis about the White Walkers. Maybe he'll listen." And then you don't hear anything about it. The next thing you hear is Stannis turns up at the wall and kills a bunch of wildlings. Yeah. And in them showing that scene in the TV made it more obvious that the reasoning behind that wouldn't have been because Stannis wanted to go to the wall, except for maybe he thought he could get a few more people to rally to his cause. But it was because Melisandre actually sees the danger in the White Walkers more than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
I don't know, like Melisandre's pretty fucking useless when you think about it.
Yeah, but
it took her receiving a letter saying the White Walkers are really dangerous for her to go.
It wasn't the letter that made her. It was when she burnt it. She saw.
I mean, Davos knew before her. Like, Davos knew before her because he got a letter. Like, if she's supposed to be some
kind of
fucking future teller person, then
but when she looked into the fires after seeing that, she had like a sudden click of like, holy shit, I've been following the wrong thing the whole time. Because she admits multiple times herself that she makes mistakes when
I
reading
suppose.
things.
Yeah.
So up until that point, she might not have seen it coming.
Yeah.
Whatever, sorcery and all of that. I don't know what she actually sees. She could be bullshitting out her ass for all I know.
Exactly. That's my belief.
But still, I found that interesting to consider that.
Well, I mean, the only thing that makes me think she isn't bullshitting is the fact that she gave birth to crazy
A
shadow.
demon.
Mhm.
So, like,
I'm-
maybe
I-
she is pretty magical. I don't know.
Dunno.
She seems like she has some fucked up stuff that she can do. I wonder where, like, I thought they were, like, in the series they were going to kill what's his name, Gendry. Like, I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
they were just going to completely not do, like, the whole Edric Storm thing, which I guess they
Yeah, I
probably
totally
weren't
didn't
going
see
to
the
do.
Edric Storm thing coming, and I was like, oh, this is the Edric Storm thing. And I totally forgot that dude's name, so thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, and then
But yeah, and then they sent him away like Edric Storm, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like in the book.
yeah.
I did wonder what they were doing with Gendry in the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem like a massively important character in the books, but
He was
Like-
only important when they needed to prove Robert's children were illegitimate, and then
yeah,
kind of,
I mean, like, yeah, his stuff in like
Well-
in book 4, is it, when Brienne gets like fucked up?
Yeah.
It's like he's just sort of there. He's not
like, oh, remember this character?
yeah, yeah.
Maybe he's got plans for him in the future.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he is still important because he's like the last Baratheon, isn't he?
Yeah, he is
Except for
actually.
Stannis.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, he's the last of like Robert's line.
He's
He's
the last,
last
like,
of
yeah,
Robert's
he's the last
line,
Robert.
Unless there are other bastards, I can't remember, or did they all get
I'm
killed?
pretty sure they
they
were
all
all
got
killed.
bumped off.
Yeah, unless Edric Storm pops out of nowhere, then yeah, they're probably all. You can just assume they're all dead, probably.
Was Edric Storm wasn't Robert's blood though, was he? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, he was.
Oh okay.
I think.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. I knew he was Baratheon, but
Yeah, well, I mean, because then who else's child would he be? I don't
Stannis
like
is-
Renly doesn't have any children. Stannis' only child is that girl, whose name escapes me.
Grayscale face person.
Edric Storm is the bastard son of Robert Baratheon and some lady.
Some lady.
Some lady. Lady face. Face lady.
Poker face.
Yes. So that's Game of Thrones. That
I'm gonna say, yeah. Does that about do it? I can't think of.
that comes back on TV in like March next year or something.
Yeah, and it could be like another 4 years before the book. So
Yay.
Yeah. I just want the next book already.
I really, really do want the next book.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm more curious about it than I am like really invested in the fiction now. I just
I gotta
Honestly-
admit, yeah, I am a bit.
sort
There
of
are
bring it
certain.
back around because I'm almost like just not really cared now.
There
not
are
really
certain things that I still really care about.
Yeah.
If Jon Snow is actually dead, that's going to be like one of the final like favorite characters that is now no longer in it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, if he's dead, it's going to be like hard to read through the boring shit because it's like, oh no, there's not going to be another Jon chapter because he's
I
dead.
don't know. I didn't really like the Jon chapters.
I
never liked
like
Jon
Jon.
as a
He's always been one of my favorites.
Tyrion's dead, man. I love the fucking.
Yeah, like I like
Dunno.
Tyrion's stuff, but like if Tyrion,
If Daenerys doesn't pull her finger out of her ass as well. she's
I
a
think
bitch,
I mean I imagine this next book is going to be 2 parts, or 3 maybe by the sounds of
I
it.
also please less Theon.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I predict like Daenerys dead within like the first part of the next book, because
I don't think it'll happen that soon. I think it's got to be culminating with the Targaryen reuniting at some point, regardless of how many of them there are. They've got to get back together at some point. And
Yeah,
whether or not they fail or succeed from there, I don't know. The Lannisters seem to have fucked everything up, so they're not going anywhere, that's for sure. Don't know if the Tyrells will work it out.
I'm gonna say Stannis dies and Melisandre like somehow convinces Jon to like lead an army. Or
He's already
something.
leading a fucking army on
Yeah.
Winterfell.
Well, okay, so
Well, was until he got stabbed 4 times.
yeah. Like I think it's gonna be like a lot of the Night's Watch dies, like the sort of non-believers, and then it's just Jon and a bunch of wildlings basically, and that causes some conflict because people are like, oh, he's a wildling or some other shit. I don't know. I don't know. Anything could happen at this point. So
Oh, speaking of wildlings and shit, how did you feel about the way they handled his kind of outing, I guess, in the show? That was in the final episode, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, that stuff was reasonably well done. I liked his like last line to that
Yeah, I thought that was
this
awesome.
change a dude.
Yeah, it was like, I'm fucking stabbing you. Oh, you're right, by the way. Fucking prick. And just runs off.
Yeah, that
was
stuff,
cool.
that stuff worked pretty well. The one thing I didn't like was that really weird scene between him and Ygritte. Like after that, when she chases him and shoots him with like 3 arrows. Like,
Yeah, what the fuck?
that scene like made no sense. That scene just felt like, okay, right, we need these people to have a scene, but on their own,
She
and no
does
one else to
shoot
see
him
it.
in the
It's like,
book.
Yeah, she shoots
Yeah.
him in the leg or whatever, but
Yeah,
not
shoots him in the
3 or 4
also,
times.
it's not like a separate scene, is it? It's like it
Oh,
all
no,
happens
it's
at
No,
the
it's
same-
it's during that
Yeah,
fight,
as he's kind of
as
riding
he's
away.
running away, she shoots him.
like
yeah.
that
I
whole.
think it really, not weakened, maybe, I don't know, like, I guess weakened is probably the best word, but I felt it weakened her character a little bit from the book. Because, like, in the book, it's like, you know, you betrayed me, no hesitation. I'm trying to
whereas
kill
in,
you.
Like, yeah,
Whereas in the
series,
show,
like,
It's
in
very
the
much...
series, she almost shoots like fucking what's his face, Giant Spain, with a fucking arrow until
Yeah.
Jon stops her. Like,
Yeah, it's very, like, she's not as sort of, you know, strong-willed, I guess, in the show as she is in the book.
yeah. But I mean, she's gonna be dead soon anyway.
Yeah,
so
she'll be dead within the next 2 episodes at
who the fuck
most.
fucking cares.
Do you think they'll keep... Here's it, interesting. Do you think they'll keep her alive, maybe? I mean, they've,
I
like, made
fucking
a
hope
pretty
not.
big departure with, you know, Rob's wife, as opposed to the book, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're in the business of keeping characters alive that have died. I think it's more like killing characters that
That are
like,
still alive, yeah.
that aren't just aren't like really in the series. Like, I mean,
What happens if Rob's wife suddenly comes back and is really important in the next book?
I don't think that'll happen.
I mean, I think I actually was curious about that, and what's his face, George R.R. Martin. I think he wrote the Reigns of Castamere episode, and the reason he killed Talisa in the show was to, like, you know, get it across, like, nah, like, these guys are fucked now, like, you know, this is it, you know.
yeah.
He's not going to be avenged, you know, later. So I imagine that's sort of like his plan for the book.
Except for the fact his mum is a fucking zombie.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the show watchers don't know that yet, do they? I think they haven't seen.
Yeah, but still.
God, those reaction videos on YouTube are so fucking good.
Oh,
Like,
they're so funny.
people just fucking freaking out and like.
Oh,
There's the one with like there's just like a middle-aged guy with like a ponytail. He's just like, a lot of people just died right there. Like, just like really just matter of fact. Like,
I think the ones with like the women like freaking out,
Yeah.
they've got to be fake though.
I don't know, like some of them, I don't know. There's the one where like a guy just like goes that like he's like sitting in a chair and he just like falls down to his knees like in front of the TV, just like.
I really
know,
wish I had recorded. I really wish I'd recorded the reaction of my girlfriend when Ned Stark died. She didn't like cry or like fall down to knees. She just got really annoyed. She was just like, I really liked Ned Stark. She got so annoyed
He's a
at
fucking idiot, though. This is the inconvenient truth that people don't want to admit. The Starks are fucking morons.
Yeah,
That's why they're all dead.
It's far too gullible and
it. Yeah.
naive.
Like, seriously, you know.
He shouldn't have ended up dead though. To be fair,
That's
it
yeah.
was all Joffrey's fault.
I mean, but that's like
It's
three.
not though. It's not.
That's-
The reason Ned dies is because of fucking Sansa. That's the reason.
But, like-
oh man, don't get me on that subject.
three
again,
three
Jesus
Starks have
Christ.
walked into a trap and been killed by it. It's like
Yeah,
It's a bad
should have
joke.
learned by now.
I fucking hate Sansa. I really hope she dies.
Oh, that's what we haven't talked about is Arya's new face.
I fucking knew there was something big we were forgetting.
How do we forget that?
Yeah.
She's becoming a total badass on the side.
She's my pick for like the person that will actually
Man.
fucking ruin.
Wait,
face
so do
at the end.
you think when they get to that they're going to change the actress? Because I
Probably
think-
not. They'll probably
Well,
just do like
with Jack and
something
Hagar,
else.
they did.
yeah,
the
but
way
he's not a
she's-
major.
Yeah.
Like I thought, the
Yeah, but
the
she
actress
doesn't keep her new face. She's going to keep getting different ones.
I
So
suppose.
I guess
so
they
she-
could, but I mean,
they could just have her like when she needs to change, give her swap the actor for an episode or half an episode or whatever, and then swap it back again.
I-
But like,
yeah.
I really liked the scene where she has to kill that.
oh yeah, I
guy.
love that.
And like
so
they
good.
don't explain how she did it. They leave it up to you to work it out.
Yeah,
Mm.
Like because they were just like, oh yeah, he bit on the coin and then mysteriously had a heart. Well, no, they don't say he bit on the coin, but they were just like he paid with that money and then mysteriously had a heart attack.
yeah.
And then it took me a while to piece together in my head. Oh, of course, because he bites the coin, he would have there was poison on the money, and he would have ingested the poison and then died. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, I think Arya's gonna fucking own face at the end. She's gonna be the one that like fucking.
Yeah, but there's going to be no one left
Kills
that she
everybody.
wants to kill.
Yeah, but I mean, there is. There's still Cersei. She's still left. I'm forgetting.
Barely.
So-
She is like a decrepit. Like she's got nothing going for her anymore.
Yeah, but Arya still wants to kill her.
True.
I'm trying to think who else is left at this point off her list.
A load of all of her list is useless people like Raff the Sweetling and Dunstan Polliver. Or I can't
Yeah,
remember.
true. They're not as important.
They're
as the
like
ones who were.
nobodies now. None of them are relevant.
Tywin
Oh,
is dead.
Oh, that's the other thing. Robert Strong. What do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
about that? That is blatantly Sandor Clegane.
Yeah, but is it though? Is it?
It must be. Who the fuck else is it? It's an 8-foot tall person who doesn't speak.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's no. Yeah, but that's the thing. Though, is like there's no helmet, so it's like there's implication that it's like some sort of weird fucked up like sorcery or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's actually
Yeah, I'm not saying
nobody in
he's-
the
I'm
armor.
not
It's
saying he's
just
still alive. Oh, you're saying it might be a hollow armor.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah. There's
It,
like
I
you know,
reckon
there's
it's
actually
more
nobody in the
likely
armor.
that. What was the name of the ex-maester that thing he had? The one who had his chain taken away.
I would call him Qyburn, but
Oh,
Yeah, I remember him.
Is it-
It must be. I think it is.
is that not another one?
Well,
No, I'm pretty sure that was the one. But yeah, I reckon it was all his experiments he's been doing on people. Like, he's found some fucked up semi-sorcerous way of reanimating corpses or something. That'd be amazing.
I fucking hate that. Like she is still like some like she's got some grasp on fucking power. Like she should just be fucking dead or like
I mean, she's definitely.
I
maimed
think her
somehow.
grasp power is probably a zombie. I mean,
She's
I don't
gonna
really
check
think...
out in the next book, though. I mean, come on. There's no fucking.
She's had her ticket stamped for about the last book and a half. So.
There is.
I know
no
when she's
way
still fucking alive, and now she's like almost like on the rise again after being like naked paraded through the streets. Like, ugh. The thing is, for some reason I had some weird notion in my head that it was going to be like some dude who just wanted to kill Cersei for some reason. This Robert Strong character, he was like,
All right.
I don't know. I can't remember. There was
Did
like,
you not think of the mountain immediately when they described
yeah,
it?
yeah, but it was like this. I don't know. There was something about like the way that like people talked about him or something. I can't remember. There's something. I'd probably have to read it again to remember exactly what the hell I thought. But
Did you
yeah.
find out if it was Quiet Man?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because he's been doing some messed up shit, so...
damn right. Oh man. Yep. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Still alright.
I'm gonna
It's
have
like-
to wait a while for like another book spoiler cast, though.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
The longest time I think was 6 years between books, by the way. So I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Okay, so the Sir Robert thing was he made a vow of silence saying he wouldn't speak until all of King Tommen's enemies are dead and evil has been driven from the realm, and he's like fighting for Cersei. So my like theory was that like when he fights for Cersei, he's just gonna stand there and let the person kill him, and then she would die. And
Oh right, yeah. I
and
see what you
that would be, you know, evil being driven from the realm, and she is in a way an enemy of King Tommen because she sort of has her own.
Retard.
Yeah, she's a retard basically, and she has her own like whatever, like her own little
That actually makes
machinations.
sense.
mean.
You're
Yeah,
right.
that would
But-
actually be really cool. That
I don't know,
would be
actually.
a really good idea.
I don't know why. Like, I think it was just because I want that to happen that like that
Yeah.
theory even happened in my head. But yeah.
Does that about do it? I think that's like almost an hour on that. This is a long show.
Jesus Christ!
It's just like a 4-hour podcast.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it feels like one.
I'm really glad we didn't do this.
All over my body.
Sunday.
Yeah, that would have been a bad idea. I think it's still a bad idea to do it now.
True,
Yeah,
but
it
at least we
probably
can
was.
like none of us have got to be up early tomorrow. Well, have
Nah,
we?
I don't. Nah.
So I guess that's it.
That's some interesting.
Yeah. And this
Yep, we're
Brad. And it. Oh god.
Email us something, game over. Bye.